You with Matchday. Brentford's Community Stadium is the setting for today's main feature on BBC Radio Suffolk this afternoon. Ipswich Town are back in Premier League action. Full match commentary from Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley.
Change of venue will hopefully bring forth a change of fortune for Ipswich Town then. Yep, after several visits to Griffin Park down the years, it's our first ever trip to the relatively new home of Brentford, the G-Tech Community Stadium, jammed between the M4 and Kew Bridge here in West London. Kieran McKenna's never lost 3 games in a row in charge of the Blues, so maintaining that record is the aim of the day against a club that after decades outside the top flight is currently in its 4th consecutive Premier League season. Really is a quite phenomenal achievement. The Bees should be an inspiration to many clubs, Ipswich amongst them. In a ground which holds fewer than 18,000 fans, they're never going to be one of the division's big guns, but led by a brilliant manager and a recruitment record to envy, they've more than held their own in English football's top tier, playing some terrific stuff along the way. Mick, this is another really tough test for Town, isn't it? Particularly with 6 changes this afternoon.
Well, that's one of the reasons, obviously, but this is one of the big success stories, Brentford, you know, in the Football League these days, you know, because, you know, they've done remarkably well, and, you know, a lot of people, a lot of clubs, even ourselves included, can sort of learn from them. You know, their recruitment, as you've already mentioned, has been absolutely superb. Pretty much this new stadium has been built on the proceeds of transfers, you know, the transfers always being in the plus, you know, and tremendous success story. And the stadium they built here is a really good one. It's got plenty of atmosphere. It's brand new, but it has retained a lot of the old ground's atmosphere, and it's a really good place to watch football from. As far as Town are concerned, you know, this is every game now is so vitally important. We do need to get the win on the board as soon as possible, but, you know, we have got problems because, you know, we've had selection problems. This was going to be a tough game. It's been made even more tough, so, you know, we'll have to wait and see what transpires.
Yeah, 6 changes for Town. Go Wolfenden, Morsey, who's injured, Burns, Hutchinson's ill, Jack Clark and Delap. In come Harry Clark, Kajust, Ogbeni, Chaplin, Smodix and Hurst. Murrich is in goal. The back 4, Clark, O'Shea, Burgess and Davis. The 2 of Phillips and Kajust. Jack Taylor, incidentally, also out injured. That's why he's unavailable. Then a 3 of Ogbeni. Chaplin captains Ipswich Town for the first time in the Premier League. Really special occasion for Connor Chaplin, a Premier League captain. And then Smodix in support of George Hurst, his first start in the Premier League for Ipswich Town. There are 2 sub-keepers, Walton and Slicker, Wolfenden and Burns, Al-Hamidi back from injury, Delap, Townsend, Broadhead, Jack Clark. 2 changes made by Thomas Frank. Aya and Sharda are out. Income Rorslev and Wisser. Their keeper is Flecken. They got a back 4 of Rorslev, Collins, Pinnock and Vandenberg in midfield. Norgard, Janelt, Damsgaard. Wisser plays through the middle with Mbuemo and Lewis Potter either side. On the bench, Valdemarson, Magoma, Me, Konak, Trevitt, Yarmaluk, Jensen, Sharda and Carvalho. Brentford are about to kick off. Hold on to your hats. They've scored 3 goals inside the opening minutes so far this season, and 1 after 75 seconds. They're phenomenally quick starters. Beautiful, lush green surface here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Really good atmosphere. Town in blue, white, blue, as both sets of players take to the knee. Off to our left-hand side, the Brentford players in their red and white stripes with black shorts and black socks. Their keeper in all yellow. Off to our left in all pink, Murrich for Ipswich Town. The Ipswich Town fans, I think about 1,300 of them or so, are in the corner of the ground over in the far right as we look at things. Brentford have the ball on this right-hand side immediately with Collins to the halfway line. An early touch for Norgard, one of 5 players in this Brentford lineup who helped them get promoted from the Championship 3.5 years ago. That's tremendous that they have finished at this level 13th, 9th and 16th so far. Never really been in a relegation scrap. Ball forward by Kajust, the Sweden internationals. Missed the last 3 games, but back because needs must, really. There's only he and Phillips fit of the senior midfielders at Ipswich Town, and can't quite be fully 100% sharpness Kajust, but needs must. He's certainly alongside Phillips in the engine room. Brentford to this right back area, and Rorslev, one of those 5 survivors in this team from the promotion year. Up towards Wisser, 12 goals last season for him. Chaplin loses it on halfway. Almost brings down Norgard, but it's Kajust who gets an important back to touch to Burgess. I thought did more than okay, really, on his Premier League debut a week ago, particularly given he had that flight from Japan, having played for Australia a few days earlier, as Kieran McKenna alluded to. Here's the man of the new contract, Davis up to halfway, Hurst with a touch, so too Chaplin. Bright play from Ipswich Town, they've worked it out nicely to the far side, and Ogbenny, who played here last year for Luton, the flying right winger, Ipswich Town's first foray forward. They've at least seen off the first minute of this game. It's not too many teams have in recent times, I was just saying, against Brentford. Ogbenny, nice 1-2, has the ball wide right outside the Brentford penalty area, faces up his man, gets his cross in off a Brentford player. Town have won a corner kick inside 2 minutes.
Well, that's the first time that any team that I've watched this year haven't sort of gone long from the kick-off. Brentford then, they tried to play possession football, they got absolutely nowhere, and then soon as we've got possession, we've actually done all right. We've kept the ball nicely and we've won ourselves a corner, so we've started better than Brentford.
Town had a really good break down the right last week, and Jack Clark didn't convert that chance. What can Town do from this early corner kick, which was brought about by a marauding move down the right-hand side? Davis on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. Town of Penny, plenty bodies forward. Just 2 and a bit minutes played at the G-Tech Community Stadium. First corner kicks the way of Ipswich, and it comes from Davis, clipped away on the half volley around about the penalty spot area. Harry Clark bends it back to the far side. Davis still occupying a right wing role, the left back far side from that corner kick, gives it back to Chaplin. Chaplin with a threaded ball forward, looking to get Smodics involved. He's just eased off the ball by the big man Pinnock at the back, and it's a goal kick to Flecken, the Dutchman.
Yeah, a little bit wasted, the corner kick. I thought that Colin Chaplin had made a good run towards the ball, and the short corner was on, and I think we should have taken it. We decided to put the ball in the box and it came to nothing.
Well, won by Kajust. Here is George Hurst just outside the Brentford area, into the box, and Sam Smodics left of centre hits across the face of goal, cleared away by Brentford. That was half a chance for Ipswich Town. Good pressure from Ipswich on the ball in midfield. Kajust started brightly. There is Burgess. Town with a bit of momentum. Davis, low ball, edge of the area, back to goal. Hurst tries to flick it on, headed away by the Irishman Collins. Up to the halfway line, and it's Phillips who gives it back to Murich, well outside his penalty area. 3 goalless minutes gone on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Little touch up the halfway line from Davis, Kajust off the outside of his right boot, delivers back to O'Shea in his more favoured position of centre half rather than that right back area which he occupied against Everton.
Yeah, good start this one. I think that Brentford will be disappointed that they haven't got their game going. They tried to play a lot of football from the initial kick-off. It didn't sort of help them very much, and since then we've played some nice stuff.
Town fans singing the Kieran McKenna song for the first time. On the right-hand side, Ogbenny trying to take on Damsgaard. Ogbenny still has the ball outside the Brentford box, back to Chaplin. Chaplin crosses left-footed towards the far stick, and Davis headed out behind by Roerslev. It's another corner kick to Ipswich Town. It's been a bright start from Kieran McKenna's man.
Very, very good, and Ogbenny looks to be very, very lively over on that right-hand side, and he sort of put the ball back, and that was a really good cross. Plenty of pace on it, and just caused Brentford momentarily some problems on the back post. So second corner for Ipswich Town.
Vandenberg, it's probably his third favourite position, left back, tends to play centre half or right back. Could be interesting if Ogbenny keeps having a run at him. Calvin Phillips with Ipswich Town's second corner kick into the centre. It comes by the near post, not fully away from Brentford. Back to Phillips, the bouncing ball on this left wing area, the back heel forward from the Manchester City player, controlled by Smodics. Smodics uses his body well, gives the ball back to Davis. Davis first touch pass forward, doesn't reach the target, but the Blues get it back. Town are on top. They've got to make the most of this. They need to find a breakthrough. They're the better team at the moment. O'Shea into the centre, Chaplin back to goal in the D, battling for it. Touched away by the studs of Pinnock's right boot. Now on this right-hand side, Buemo, very, very talented player. He's been amongst the goals this season. He's linked with Arsenal of late. Brian Mbeumo, the Cameroonian, in his 6th season here, as Collins, the summer arrival from Wolves last year. 23 million he cost. Tends to play alongside Dara O'Shea somewhere in that back four for the Republic of Ireland. Now it's with Flecken, another player in his 2nd season here. Now Roerslev, the Dane. Lots of players in and around the squad have hailed from Denmark, including the manager Thomas Frank, as Brentford play it in and around, then through their penalty area. There is Pinnock, what a signing he's been, a real fan's favourite. Brentford in red and white get the ball into midfield. Now Norgard has lots of space in front of him to this right-hand side Roslav. First time Brentford have really come forward in this game. 6 minutes gone for number 19 Bueno. A shaven head and beard, trying to slip it through to Damsgaard, who's a very talented player in midfield, the number 24. Once again, it's with Norgard, the captain, forward for Brentford, looking for Wisser, headed away with his feet up off the floor by O'Shea and the D. Davis along the deck to Hurst. Hurst tries to turn away from Collins. He goes to the deck. The referee says play on. Lewis Smith in charge of this one. Here's Damsgaard, ball into the box. And Bueno, chance blocked. Might come out towards the number 27 on the far side. Janelt, the German, one back by Brentford. Town rocking a little bit. Plenty bodies back. Lewis Potter into the centre. Another chance for Brentford. Into the mix it comes. Double-fisted away by Muric. And hit by Norgard. Excellent block by Kajust, who can be happy with his first 7 minutes in midfield, the Swede.
Yeah, well, it was all Town initially, but this is the first little sort of time for Brentford to be at the Town defensive end, and they looked quite impressive from that series of attacks.
Yeah, look as if they've got their game going somewhat. Brentford live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Town at home to Leicester a week today, and then 2 weeks tomorrow. Town back in London, away to Tottenham. Well, looking forward to our first visit to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Final game before the latest international break, that one. Here comes Pinnock's long throw into the Ipswich area. Commanding header away by Dara O'Shea. So, same again, no doubt, from Pinnock. Just drying the ball with a towel. Handily positioned for him on the far side. Pinnock with this throw-in. The yellow ball has come out as well for the first time this season. It's noticeable. Here is Pinnock with a throw from underneath that giant floodlight in the far right corner. Headed away this time by Burgess. Aerial work was impressive from both centre-halves. Under pressure there for Ipswich Town. Flecken from way outside of his box. Rattles a long ball forward. Will be way too much on that. Just always running away from Keane Lewis Potter. Goal kick Muric.
Yes, it's been an interesting start really, because you would have expected us to have been a little bit nervous about the whole afternoon, if you like. The fact we had to make a lot of changes to our lineup, and we know that Brentford are in pretty good form, but we've shown a confidence which is good, you know, and that's taken us nicely into the game. We've just had a little series of Brentford trying to show us what they're all about in attack, but generally speaking we're holding ourselves pretty good. You know, we're in the game. We look as if we've got an air of confidence about us, which is also good.
Phillips wins the ball on the centre spot, but Mr. Smith is blown up for a foul on Norgard while Mick Mills was chatting there. It was interesting that Kieran McKenna called his captain over and had a fairly lengthy chat with Connor Chaplin about something he wanted tinkered with or watched for in the centre of the park. Of course, he has captained Ipswich Town in the past, Connor Chaplin, on a couple of occasions, but this the first time he's had the armband in the Premier League, so really special afternoon for him. That's something to put on the CV, isn't it? Here is Pinnock giving the ball to his mate on the right, Collins. Brentford near side with Bueno. First time ball in towards Wisser, holding off the challenge of O'Shea. Well won by Burgess ahead of Roslav. Smollix gives it short to Kajust in midfield. Real opportunity for Kajust this afternoon, as it is for a few players. And again, players just never know when they're going to get their chance. It's not happening with Ipswich Town, but it must be easy for players in such big squads nowadays when they're not playing games for their heads to drop and maybe moan and whinge. These lads don't do it. Now they've had this chance from nowhere, some of them in recent times. Burgess, one of those that must have thought, when am I going to get a game? Is it going to be FA Cup third round weekend? But all of a sudden, no Twan Zabi, no Jacob Greaves, and he's back in there and playing back-to-back Premier League games. At the moment, Brentford have the ball far side with Lewis Potter, faced by Harry Clark. He came from Hull. We've seen him before, Keane Lewis Potter. Very much a left-sided player in this Brentford team, whatever the system. They have it now at centre-half with Pinnock. If you're joining us 10 minutes in, Town with 6 changes. Free kick-off. Morsey out with a hamstring. Hutchinson out injured. Delap on the bench, I guess, are the headlines. So relatively rare Premier League starts for Harry Clark, George Hurst, Connor Chaplin. Brentford with their goalkeeper in possession, way off to our left-hand side. Flecken Slips it back to Pinnock, who's drifted from left centre-half into an orthodox left-back position. Drops the shoulder, gets away from Ogbeni, but then wastes a pass. That will therefore be a throw-in.
Well, what I've seen so far, I think they look useful in attack, Brentford, very lively, but when I'm watching them actually short passing at the back and with the goalkeeper, I don't think they look particularly very tidy on the ball, and when that sort of appears that way, you always think, well, there's possibly, with a press, there could be a mistake or two in that back line of Brentford.
Headed forward onto the chest of Hurst by Phillips, tries to link up with Chaplin. Chaplin goes to the ground, nothing doing. Kieran McKenna wasn't impressed. Here is Damsgaard, nudged over by Phillips. That one has now gone against Ipswich Town. Calvin Phillips, incredulous, gazing towards the referee. Just 10 years since they were promoted from League One, Brentford. Only 15 since they were playing in League Two. It's been a really wonderful story, and they've always played good football, whoever the manager has been. Real success story. Oh, Brentford almost caught out the back. Flecken selling Norgard a little bit short. Collins now has the ball. Back to his goalkeeper Flecken, who's seen a lot of it at his feet so far, the Dutchman. Short again pinging it around at the back. Good touch from Collins inside his penalty area. That was really risky. Then he's giving it to Pinnock. Out to the far side, Damsgaard. They've beaten the Ipswich Town press, but hearts must have been in the mouths of home fans there, even though this is what they've come to expect. On the left-hand side, Lewis Potter outside the Ipswich Town area. It's been a good break this from the Bees. A chance for Damsgaard to cross into the middle. It comes, headed up by O'Shea. He will rise once more. Lewis Potter didn't fancy that second challenge. Now to Janelt of Brentford. Janelt forward down the left channel, taken on the thighs by Harry Clark. Then it has to be chipped away though by O'Shea after Brentford have won it back. Now Phillips on the right corner of the Ipswich area. Hippy-uppy touch, then played out far side for a throw to Brentford. That's some very risky play from them.
Yeah, I think I've weighed them up already. You know, they don't look that good at the back at playing the ball around short. They look as if they might lose the ball at any time. Our press, if it's good, could win possession in good areas, and I think they actually look okay. They look sharp up the front, Brentford, but I think that we look pretty good at the moment. 3
wins and a draw here so far from their 4. Brentford, however, they've lost all 4 of their away games, although they've had some tough trips ticked off the calendar already, and starting the weekend in 13th place, 10 points from 8 games. But Town have got through this first 13.5 minutes with the scoreline still 0-0 here. It was a game that a lot of people would have taken a draw from in terms of Town fans, and particularly when they saw the teams. Long forward from Brentford, mixing it up. Davis headed it back to Murrich. Good work between the two of them on exactly the same wavelength.
Yeah, they did well there. That was an awful pass, really. It favoured Leif Davis, and he's dealt with it nicely. But just generally speaking, I think we look, well, certainly as comfortable as what Brentford did.
17 goals scored on this ground in the league so far this season. No Premier League ground has seen more. And after 14 minutes, really touching round of applause for 14-year-old Holly West, a Brentford fan who sadly died recently. And both sets of fans getting involved in that as well, and so Thomas Frank. Very, very sad story. Norgard trying to get the ball through towards Damsgaard. Almost ran to Wisser. There is Ogbeni's first touch was too heavy. Lewis Potter takes it off of him, then comes in field, dribbles between a couple of challenges. Excellent play from Lewis Potter. Great first touch from Mbueno. And Mbueno with a cross into the centre, headed away by Burgess. And as far as Norgard, here is Mbueno. Definitely playing on the right-hand side of an attacking 3 rather than centrally as he has been of late. Mbueno. Norgard rolls the ball under his studs. Back to Collins. Collins gives it to Norgard again for Brentford. Ball down the right-hand side to Rorslev, tight to this near touchline. Draws in Davis, gives it back to Norgard. Norgard forward to Collins, who's offside. So where did he come from, the centre-half, turning into a right winger, but mistiming his run.
Yeah, we look pretty good. We look very compact to me, so this has been a good start. You know, we've got a lot of changes to the team. It's not very easy to do that, you know, and be completely together at the start of the game, but we look a nice compact unit at the moment. We've won ourselves a couple of early corners, so we've shown a bit of adventure, and you know, at the moment I would say there's absolutely nothing between the teams.
Murrich from left back with this free kick for Ipswich Town. Hurst right. rises, headed away by Collins, chested down by his international colleague Smodics, and then toe poked out by his marker Norgard. So Ipswich Town have got a throw in an attacking area just outside the Brentford penalty area. Town trying to end this little run of back-to-back defeats against West Ham and Everton. Second home defeat of the season last week for Ipswich Town. Disappointing performance, as it was at West Ham just before the last international break. Ipswich Town have a throw-in. Jens Kajust is going to be hurling the ball into the box off to our left. Brentford have everybody back defending that one, headed forward by Smodics to the left-hand side. Kajust will keep the ball in on this near side, tries to backheel it down the line for Smodics, came off the wrong angle of his heel and straight out for a throw to the Bees.
Yeah, it was a decent throw from Kajus, so we've got somebody in the club that can really hurl a ball with a throw-in, so that's going to be handy in the future.
Damsgaard to Roerslev, he clears to halfway, intercepted by Phillips. Damsgaard then gets the better of Davis out to the right side, and Bueno with a brave header on, but O'Shea is there to tidy up neatly. Back to Murich, 0-0. 17 minutes gone on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Town have done well. Hurst trying a first time side-footed layoff to Ogbene. Read and cut out though by Van den Berg, a summer arrival from Liverpool, the Dutchman. We saw his brother play against Town for Middlesbrough last season. Here is Bueno on the centre spot in that more threatening central area. Out to the left-hand side, Lewis Potter. One-on-one with Harry Clark. Potter having a run at the Town fullback. Potter still got the ball, gets into the box, gets the byline, great run, and then a block challenge from Clark results in Brentford's first corner after 18.
Yeah, that was a terrific sort of challenge. Great one-to-one by Harry Clark. You know, he's got the winger running at him inside the penalty area. Not a good position for a fullback, but he stood his ground really well, and without question when the attempted cross was coming in from near the byline, Harry's blocked it beautifully. So don't be afraid of giving corner kicks away. I've seen people try and leave them alone, which is really suicidal. So that's good play by Harry Clark.
Town have got all 10 blue shirts back in the penalty box off to our right hand side. 18 minutes gone. Brentford have their first corner in from Damsgaard, headed on saved by Murich at the near post. Well done by the Kosovan. Wasn't embarrassed by that one.
Yeah, keeper did well in the end, but that looked a dangerous situation. They really sort of went for the near post, Brentford, and came close to getting an opportunity.
Great header on by Hurst. Can Smodics get on the ball? No, Flecken is there first, and he passes it out to Bueno. And Bueno early over the top looking for Wisser. Wisser, what's his first touch like? Wasn't the worst, but O'Shea gets it back to Murich, and he hacks the ball high into the grey West London sky, brought down by Lewis Potter. We can go back to news of a goal in the Premier League.
Yeah, just the one so far. It's an Erling Haaland goal. Man City 1, Southampton 0.
After a relatively lean spell, the Norwegians back amongst the goals. That's good as far as Ipswich Town are concerned, although we did always expect Man City to beat Southampton today. And Bueno's a win last night, which also went Ipswich Town's way. Forest going up to 5th with a 3-1 victory at Leicester City. Wolves are at Brighton this afternoon. Big game of the weekend is tomorrow, Arsenal versus Liverpool. 20th minute of this game. Still to see goals at the G-Tech Community Stadium. There is Bueno going back towards Pinnock. He's scored with headers in his last 2. Pinnock, both on the stroke pretty much of half-time as well, coincidentally. Here is Norgard, clearly like scoring at either ends of the first half, this Brentford side. And so far they haven't managed it in the first 20 minutes here. And Town have more than held their own with these 6 changes. If you're just joining us, Town have got Harry Clark, Kajust, Ogbene, Chaplin, the captain, Smodics and Hurston. Here come Brentford. Wisser, edge of the box. Superb defending from Burgess. Really well done by the Australian. Smodics, first time ball down the right-hand side. Asking too much of Ogbene. That wasn't good from Smodics.
No, it was never on that ball, you know. So we've done well with. I think I've read Brentford well enough now that they don't look brilliant at the back. I think there's going to be opportunities for Town in that area, but they are lively up front. And again, Leif Davis has got the most difficult job on the pitch for us. He's playing against a decent player in Mbueno.
The ball at the back is with Jan Elt. He's another survivor from the promotion year of 2021. Finished 3rd in the Championship 2 years in a row. Second time of asking, they got themselves promoted to this level. As the ball goes back to Pinnock, Janelt gives it back to Damsgaard on the far side. Quite a slight frame of a player, Mikel Damsgaard. Came for the best part of £17 million from Sampdoria in Italy. Now it's with Collins to the near side and Roslev. Roslev goes back to Collins, and now Flecken gets his first touch in a little while. The goalkeeper. Not a great deal of goalmouth action at either end of this pitch so far. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Flecken again, came from Freiburg last year. Only played in Germany, the Dutchman, before he's moved to the Premier League. He's still on the ball. He's rolling it out to the edge of his D before finally passing square to Collins. He can get a gallop on up to the halfway line, shoved in the back by Hurst, who then points at the ball. He was nowhere near winning the ball, and he knows it. The referee wants the free kick to be taken inside the Brentford half of the field when Collins is trying a cheeky one. Chaplin's gone down in the centre circle off the ball. Hopefully he's going to be okay. I did see that Town sent out Delap and Al-Hamidi a few moments ago.
It's interesting down this left-hand side when Brentford sort of threatened to come round the pitch at the back end of the team. Leif Davis leaves Mbueno and goes to threaten the right back. Cameron Burgess immediately comes over in the left back position to take Mbueno, and it leaves us 3v3 at the defensive end, and with O'Shea very much on a one-to-one through the middle of our defence. It's confident stuff, but it's risky stuff.
We're exactly at the midway point of this first half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. McMills alongside me for this game, as he will be for the home match against Leicester next Saturday. And then that trip to Tottenham that I mentioned earlier on, then off the back of the international break. Well, it's a couple of real personal games for Kieran McKenna. Tottenham at the start of the international break, and then Manchester United at Portman Road off the back of it, two of his former clubs. Drinks break going on at the moment as Chaplin comes across to this near side. I think he's going to be all right, but Town have done pretty well so far.
Yeah, this is good. Okay. This is good so far.
Yeah, it has been from Ipswich Town, who actually haven't scored a goal in their last three at Brentford. This is the first ever top flight meeting between these two sides.
Yeah, 24 minutes gone, no attempts on target at either end of the pitch. I think we would have taken that, to be perfectly honest, and with all these changes. So we've looked to unit, that's the main thing, we've looked to unit.
In the central area is Pinnock, ball out to the right, Roslev. Thomas Frank getting a little bit agitated by his usual cool, calm fashion. Now it's Pinnock to his left-hand side, Vandenberg. Slotted forward, lovely ball from Vandenberg. Lewis Potter tucks it back, edge of the area, Damsgaard. Lots of blue shirts in the way. Norgard tries it up from a long way out, blocked by the calves, I think, of Smodics, flying towards the ball as Collins heads it to Pinnock, and he gets it back to Flecken. What a pass forward that was from Vandenberg, an absolute beauty. Here is that Flecken, just going long towards Mbueno. Burgess heads it down. Mbueno will allow it to go out for a throw-in by the attacking corner flag off to our right-hand side, so Brentford can bring the big boys forward. They look a taller side than Ipswich Town, although one of those tall players, Pinnock, is the man on these long throw-ins. But Vandenberg's in the middle. Collins is now just sauntering into the Ipswich Town area. Norgard 6 foot plus. It's Pinnock having a good 4 or 5 yard run up to this. In comes his long throw to the near post, headed away superbly by Burgess. Flick headed back by Janelt to the right hand side. Pinnock left-footed cross into the middle, dealt with this time by Calvin Phillips, flinging himself forehead first at the ball. It's another throw-in for Pinnock as he dries the yellow ball inside his red and white shirt. Short throw this time from Pinnock to Janelt. Janelt crosses left-footed to the Town box. Again, Burgess is behind it. It's had a good game so far. Chaplin brings it down for Smodics, running back towards the edge of his penalty area. Holds on to it. Wisser closes them down. Just gives it back to Muric. Muric moves it into his 6 yard area and starts Town playing on the far side there, right, with Clark. Clark belts the ball away over the top of Ogbeni, who goes down in a pile. George Hurst gets on the ball. Hurst back to Ogbeni. On the right-hand side, that's the far side as we look at things. 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ogbeni at walking pace, dribbles the ball forward, faced by Collins. Ogbeni gets the corner of the area. Now inside the box, he's allowed to get in there, held up by Collins. Back to Clark, first time whipped in, belted in. Great ball by Clark. Deflected up and over, corner kick to Ipswich.
Yeah, they're obviously very frightened of Ogbeni's pace. They just stayed completely away from him there, and he just didn't really know what to do. He thought, no, come to me and I'll take you on, but they refused to do that, and then the ball goes back to Harry Clark. He really whipped that one in. That was a great ball in.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Leif Davis on it. 27 minutes played. They've done well so far at Brentford. Can they score? Town. Chaplin gets it short, then Davis plays it back to Phillips, tries to thread it into the box, waiting for Chaplin, one that Town had obviously worked on. Town rebuild. They've got the ball in the centre spot with Harry Clark. Still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon. Clark with a switch of play to Burgess. Burgess heads it down in the area, but it's Fleckens to grasp onto. And then kick long, trying to get Wisser goal side. Just gets a touch, brings it down. That could have gone terribly wrong. It would have been a complete accident. And Phillips is surely hauled down by Johan Wisser. Free kick to Town. Some sarcastic cheers from their travelling fans, seeing a decision go their way.
Yeah, I'm quite sort of happy with what we've done so far. I firmly believe if we can hold firm at the back, if we don't give them too much opportunity in attack, then I think we've got a chance to nick this game. I really do. I don't like Brentford in defence.
Former Town midfielder Keith Andrews just up off the Brentford bench, one of the coaching staff here. Had a very successful spell at Ipswich Town, scored some important goals for Paul Jewell. Phillips up towards Hurst. Hurst with a touch on. Maybe a chance for Smodix. Smodix with a chance and a goal! Lovely goal by Sam Smodix. His second of the Premier League season. It was direct from Ipswich Town, but it was hugely effective. And this team with 6 changes here this afternoon take the lead at Brentford. Brentford 0, Ipswich Town 1, and it's Smodix's second of the season.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sort of move. It really was. We've completely exposed Brentford right the way through the heart of their defence. A terrific ball up, you know, towards George Hurst, and a lovely little touch by him, a wonderful touch that put Sam Smodix in here, you know. And Sam Smodix, he's a good finisher, this guy, he really is. He doesn't need many opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net, but great ball up, great play by George Hurst, and a wonderful finish by Sammy Smodix, who is absolutely superb at linking up with forward players. He's got an instinct to run forward, he really has. He's playing in a wide left position, but he's appeared right in the central area of the pitch, and he's finished superbly.
A really good finish. First time, curled with pace into the right-hand corner of Fleckens' net. Smodix looked at it, a lovely link-up play involving Hurst and Smodix. And Ipswich Town lead 1-0 at Brentford with 16 minutes of the first half to go. Let's see how Brentford react to that. They're used to leading in games and then throwing away points. Let's see how they bounce back from going a goal behind. A rarity here this season. There is Pinnock, ball into midfield, and Damsgaard trying to turn away from Justin Phillips. Good closing down by those two. Done very well as a partnership so far. It's been a really impressive performance from Ipswich Town, all things considered. As the away fans chant 1-0 to the Tractor Boys. Kieran McKenna just takes his notepad out of his pocket and scribbles something down. 15 minutes away from half-time. Vandenberg to Keane Lewis Potter. Back to Vandenberg into the centre. You have it. It's lovely seeing Luke Wolfen and Jack Clark both involved in the goal celebrations. They just happened to be out off to our left-hand side, having a little jog and warm-up. And Bueno coming in field. Kajust intercepts. Well done again by him. Considering he's been out for a few weeks and had 3 days of training, he's done ever so well. So too is this man, Burgess, going back to his goalkeeper, Muric. Now it's with Dara O'Shea. O'Shea forward with this pass up towards Ogbeni as Marker Pinnock slipped. He couldn't make the most of it. Kieran McKenna shows some frustration. Chaplin to the right hand side. Hurst is in on goal. A chance for 2-0. He's got to score, and he has done. A Beautiful finish from George Hurst. His first Premier League goal, and what quality! Town scored twice inside 3 minutes. It's Brentford 0, Ipswich Town 2.
Well, that's a wonderful finish by George Hurst, but Connor Chaplin, take the credit for everything. He spotted something. The ball could have been taken by a colleague. He's like screaming at him, leave it alone, I've seen something. And what he saw was a free George Hurst in that inside right position, who then just had to literally just lift the ball over the goalkeeper. But well done, Connor Chaplin, for demanding that this ball is left alone.
Town have got a worrying injury. Wes Burns is up and ready. That's it for Chio Ogbeni's afternoon. He's lying down on the halfway line far side, getting some treatment from Matt Byard. It doesn't look good at all. But Town lead this game by 2-0. A beautiful finish from Hurst. Just dinked it over the top of the keeper. Seemed to take a while to get into the corner of the net, just as Kieran McKenna comes out and pats palms with Jens Kajust. What a scoreline here at the GTEC Community Stadium. Brentford unbeaten here this season. Town with all these changes pre-match. And in the blink of an eye, they've gone 2-0 ahead with two really, really good finishes. Real clinical nature of those goals, and out comes the stretcher for Chio Ogbeni, which I must admit, Mick, I didn't actually see the incident, so whether it's just something that he's jarred, but on top of everything else, with so many injuries at the moment, this doesn't look good for Ogbeni, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't, but this has been a good sort of game as far as Town are concerned. From early on, the game had a pattern. I just thought, hold our own at the defensive end and we're going to have a chance of winning the game, because I didn't like this Brentford team at the back. I didn't like them in possession. I didn't like them defending their box at all, and we've just absolutely ripped them to pieces with two terrific attacking moves, and we deserve this, we really do. We've sort of, from the word go, there was an air of confidence about us, which totally and utterly surprised me, because there were so many players, good players, that weren't available for this game. And but the boys that have come in have just, taken to it immediately. And Brentford are very poor in possession at the back.
Still waiting to see what's going to happen with Ogbeni. There's an awful lot of people surrounding him far side. It's nice that Nathan Collins, his international colleague, is going to cross to have a look at him, but there must be 4, 5, 6 more medical staff. I mean, he's sitting up and talking to Matt Byard, but it doesn't look anything really, so but it's a real worry. But obviously a ready-made replacement. Wes Burns was up immediately, pretty much as soon as George Hurst's floated finish went into the corner of the net, but we're going to see a few minutes added on at the end of this first half. But Ipswich Town, for the first time this season, have a 2-0 lead heading into, my watch says final 11 minutes of the first half, but we're going to be playing beyond that, 4, 5, 6 even, because there's no immediate sign of Ogbeni being taken off the pitch. So let's head back to Graham, but it's Brentford 0, Ipswich Town 2.
Elsewhere in the Premier League this afternoon, a John McGinn goal ruled out by VAR for Aston Villa, so they are still goalless with Bournemouth. Manchester City still ahead at home to Southampton thanks to an early goal from Erling Haaland. It is goalless at the Amex. Brighton 0, Wolves 0. Everton Fulham, the evening kick-off at 5:30.
As off comes Chio Ogbeni on a stretcher. Really sad. Connor Chaplin's gone across to briefly hold his hand as he gets carried off the pitch here at the GTEC Community Stadium. And a warm round of applause from the majority inside the ground. But we obviously wish him well, although that's clearly a nasty injury. Play about to resume. Brentford, no doubt, utterly shell-shocked at what's hit them in the last few minutes of football. But at Smodix after 28, Hurst after 31. Bang, bang. Ipswich Town are 2-0 up on the halfway line. And Bueno gives it back towards Collins. Collins can't keep it in. It's out for an Ipswich Town throw-in. Sloppy between those two, who are better than that.
I seriously don't know what they're doing at the back. Seriously.
I get the impression you've not been taken with Brentford defensively.
Yeah,
just read between the lines.
That alone, Brenner, that's awful play. It really is. It's dreadful.
Thomas Frank and Keith Andrews not happy at all. Ipswich Town with the wind in their sails. Kajust with this throw-in for Town. Committed plenty bodies forward, looking for a third goal. In comes this throw from Kajust at as far as Burgess. Davis wins it well. Smodix a goal scorer, out to Kajust. course, a lot of Town fans remember the fact that Town led 2-0 at Brentford heading into the 91st minute of an opening game of the season a few years ago. Only to be hit twice and it ended up 2-2, and taking nothing for granted, particularly at this level away from home. Forward from Murrich, headed by Pinnock, nodded on by Mbuemo, only as far as Phillips, giving it to Chaplin. Ipswich Town well on top. To the right-hand side, Burns' first touch since coming on. Burns and Chaplin reunited. Burns running at his man. In comes his deflected cross. It's out for a corner kick to Ipswich Town. There's just one team in this.
Well, Vandenberg will be delighted to see Ogbeni going off the pitch, because he knows he was a lot quicker than him, and he think, oh well, I've got a better job on against Wes Burns, but I can let him in to know a little secret that Wes Burns is pretty quick as well.
There is Davis with a corner kick for Ipswich Town. Town aren't going to go 3-0 up after 37 minutes of a Premier League game, are they? Don't bet against it. They're going for the juggler at the moment. They certainly sense blood. Brentford are there for the take, and they're rocking. It's Davis with this corner kick for Ipswich Town, headed away by the man on the near post, chested down by Phillips, gives it to Chaplin. Now with Leif Davis. Back it goes to Chaplin again, the skipper. Left-footed, in comes good-looking delivery. Burgess with a header, saved by Fleck, and a comfortable one in the end. But again, Town threatened that Brentford goal.
Very much so. The ball in is superb, purely and simply because it had loads and loads of pace on it. That was an excellent ball in.
Brentford a bit agitated there. Out of play, Norgard felt it was a foul on him, but Ipswich Town just went in on him 2-on-1 and won the ball. It's out for a throw. Davis throws it forward down the left-hand side to Hurst. Terrific finish for his goal. Both goals so well taken by Sam Smodix and George Hurst. Remember, Town without the likes of Morsey, Hutchinson, Greaves, Twanzebe. And yet, with these 6 changes, we're 2-0 ahead. Kajust drying the ball, getting ready to throw it into the Brentford penalty area. Don't bet against another Town goal before half-time. Not the way this game's going at the moment. Kajust with a long looping through. Hasn't been cleared yet. Inside the area, O'Shea, prodded by Burgess. Hit by Leif Davis, sadly off his right boot. Would have been getting very excited if it dropped on his left. As it is, it was high into the crowd.
Yeah, nearly fell kindly to us, and it's purely and simply we're putting good pressure on that very suspect back line of Brentford. It really is good. We've got a useful... Hello.
Oh, Town win the ball. Smodix, what a chance for 3-0. A tap in, surely. No, it won't run the way of Burns. It should be 3-0 and game over. Goodness me, Brentford caught it again. Smodix had to score there. Hopefully he doesn't rue that miss. Here come Town again. Davis infield to Smodix, edge of the area, goes down, wins it back. Kajust to Davis. Brentford are all over the place. Town completely on top. Davis comes in field, gives it back to Kajust. 6 minutes to go till half time. Kajust's cross headed away by Vandenberg. Kieran McKenna's furious. Really frustrated with his side. Well, that could have been the moment. Let's hope that doesn't come back to bite Town and Smodix heads in his hands.
It was a wonderful chance, it really was, and it was a big mistake again by Brentford. I mean, we've really got to cash in here today. We really have to.
This will be a big disappointment if Town don't go on and win this game. A long old way to go, and they might not, but really that should have been 3-0. Just getting a bit of grief over perceived time wasting. He's getting ready with this throw in. Kajust with a throw for Ipswich Town into the Brentford box. Long throw, nodded down, a chance for Leif Davis, off target, but he should have scored. He should have hit the target from 18 yards. It sat nicely on his left side, that one.
Come on, Leif, that was an easy chance. It really was. He's right on the edge of the box. He's got nobody really pressing him at all. The nearest player's probably 6-7 yards away, so he could really almost pick his spot. He went for power and he dragged it wide. Brentford were all over the place.
Thomas Frank must be desperate for half-time. Well, it's at least 10 minutes away because we've played 40 minutes of this game. There's undoubtedly going to be at least 5 minutes I don't know beyond that, but Town with 2 great chances for Smodix and Davis to take this game away from Brentford, but it's still just 2-0. Phillips wins it back. It's been some performance from Town, although in the last 10-15 minutes it's been woeful from Brentford, has to be said, but that's partly down to Ipswich Town playing so well. Here is Roslev, not the game we expected at all when that team news was confirmed at 1:45. Here is Damsgaard, blocked off by Davis, having a good game at left back. Cameron Burgess encourages him. It's a real togetherness about this Ipswich Town team that really have stepped up in the face of adversity this afternoon. Really got the bit between their teeth. They'll know that they were massive underdogs, but wow, some terrific performances out there. And of course, I've had to deal with another injury setback. Ogbeni going off with a really worrying looking problem. Here is Roslev near side. Midfield to Norgard. He was one of the players caught out when Town had that chance for Smodix a few moments ago. Smodix and Hurst have scored live on BBC Radio Suffolk. There is Damsgaard. Brentford will feel if they can get a goal in this final few minutes of the first half, it's a completely different game. Out off of Roslev. Ruth Davis will have a throw-in for Ipswich.
Yeah, the only area that concerns me, I think this Mbueno is a useful player, and as long as Leif Davis is on the job, you know, there really doesn't look to be very much threat elsewhere in the Brentford side, and with this weakness at the back, I can see us going sort of further in front.
Davis getting a lot of grief for taking his time over this throw and edging forward. Now he's having words with Sam Smodix. The two of them are arguing. Kajusta's the peacekeeper between the two. Then Davis's wasteful throw in forward. Smodix that wins the second header. Trying to get fellow goalscorer Hurst involved before Collins fluffs his clearance. Smodix and Davis having lots of words with one another.
Don't fall out, boys. Don't fall out. You're 2-0 in front.
Yeah, they're both happy to have their say. Davis with a throw towards Smodix, edge of the area. He loses it. Chaplin wins it back. Chaplin inside the Brentford area. Good play from the number 10. Holds it up, left-footed cross into the middle, headed up by Pinnock. Not away. The ball's still bouncing around inside the Brentford area. And Chaplin charges into the base of Norgard's back. Spotted by Lewis Smith as Kieran McKenna just has a little word with the fourth official, Robert Jones, down in front of us. It's really frustrated. Kieran McKenna was really furious that those two chances for Smodix and Davis were wasted by his side. Brentford with Lewis Potter, really slick runner of the ball. Great play from Lewis Potter. Chance for Jan Elton to the middle. Wissa! Goal for Brentford. They've got one back before half-time. Really slick move down the left-hand side, ball into the centre, and Wissa converts for his fourth of the season, and all of a sudden it's a different game. It's Brentford 1, Ipswich Town 2. How much will Town rue those chances to go 3 or 4-0 ahead?
Well, that's the better part of the Brentford team, is the forward part of the team, but we're guilty of diving in here. Harry Clark's dived in, missed his chance. The second one, it might have been Kelvin Phillips, dived in, missed his chance, and then with two players taken out of the game badly, we were outnumbered, and it was always going to be an easy chance for Brentford. But it's the two initial challenges over on the right-hand side, first by Harry Clark, then by Kelvin Phillips, gave Brentford the opportunity. That was a bit silly, a bit naive. We're so much in charge of the game.
That's why Kieran McKenna was so annoyed with those missed chances. Now it's a totally different match, 2-1. Based on what you've seen in the last 15 minutes from his side, Thomas Frank will be absolutely chuffed to bits to get in at half-time, 2-1 behind. Poor clearance from Flecken, out as far as Phillips. 3 goals so far in this game as we approach the added-on time. Burns to the edge of the area. Smodix controls it, then gives it to Chaplin. Chaplin dinks it into the box, looking for Davis, headed away by Mbuemo. Town reacting well to that minor setback. Davis has the ball, going back to Burgess. Good game to watch. Infield from Burgess to Phillips. Back to the left, Davis. Can Town go 2 goals up again? In comes the ball from Davis, but into the grass. Straight into the stomach of Flecken. Out to Damsgaard. The ball's about to go up. It's going to be quite a sizable single-digit figure, one would imagine, because of the Ogbeni injury. Brentford do like the way that Lewis Potter runs with the ball. Very, very easy on the eye. 6 minutes to be added on, which we are now going into. Brentford playing it around at the back with Flecken. Forward from Roslev, touched in field by Mbueno, taken on the chest by Damsgaard. Damsgaard through to Wissa. Wissa with a chance to make it 2-2. Has to score! Oh, blocked off the line and in. Where did the 2-0 lead go? It's 2-2 at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's not the first time Town have surrendered a 2-0 lead in this part of the world, and it's Wissa with a double for the Bees.
And it's we're causing our own problems. I mean, this time it's a mistake by Kajust, who doesn't get his challenge right. and it's allowed Brentford there. If you allow them, they can attack. They can attack pretty well, but we're making mistakes. We're causing our own problems, and on that occasion, I think it was Kajust who was a bit guilty, and then Cameron Burgess, unfortunately, done for pace, and the ball only just goes over the goal line, you know, but a very crazy few minutes by Town.
Well,
really
Thomas, I was just saying about Thomas Frank, would have been delighted to get in at half-time 2-1. He's now like a man that's won the lottery, although there is now a check for possible offside, so hold on to your hats. It might be, it's very difficult to see the angle, but there is a check. We're just waiting to see whether VAR, which has gone against Ipswich Town a couple of times this season, with penalties against Manchester City and Everton most notably just last weekend.
It's close, I think it might be offside. It's close.
So difficult. It's a toenail. There's a very close offside decision given against Harry Kane in the Champions League the other night. Just a millimetre of his kneecap when he thought he scored against Barcelona. What was a phenomenal game of football. I don't know if anybody saw Barcelona Bayern Munich the other night, but wow, frightening talent at the Nou Camp. Well, we're just waiting to see. The referee has gone across, whistle went through, and eventually it went through the legs of Muric, and then it was dragged over the line by, I think it might have been Calvin Phillips eventually, but it's going to be credited to Wissa if indeed it's a goal of any description, and the cheer will alert you that it's finally been given. One of these days Town will get a VAR decision go their way, but so far it's a hat-trick of disappointments back in the Premier League, and it's 2-2. It's been some first half of football here, all to play for in the second period. O'Shea high and long for Ipswich Town, headed on by Hurst. If Town, hey, goodness me, if the worst case scenario, if Town don't get anything from this game, what a blow this would be from 2-0 up and all over a team to still head into the Leicester game looking for a victory. But there's a full second half to come on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Long kick forward from Flecken. Clark with a glancing header out behind for a corner kick to Brentford. Brentford get a corner kick. Well, it's just like one team goes to pieces, one team gets on top. The other team goes to pieces, the other team gets on top. It's all Brentford at the moment. And again, whatever the scoreline, you can't miss chances like Smodics and then Davis did. Corner kick.
Good chances.
There were, weren't there? Particularly Smodics. But even the Davis one, given his ability, sat beautifully for him on the edge of the area. Can barely watch. And we're only in first half added on time. It's Damsgaard with a corner kick for Brentford. Good header away by Clark, atoning for the error. Out as far as Mbuemo. Still 2 minutes of added on time to go at the end of this first half. Thrown to Brentford far side. Getting a bit cheeky thinking they can go in at half time with a lead. It's going to be Pinnock who's jogging across to the far side with this throw in. Pinnock eventually gets on the ball. And it's Kieran McKenna that can't wait for half time to come now. Complete turnaround in the thoughts of the two managers in the last few minutes. Both teams scoring 2 goals inside probably, 3-minute periods. Lots of players forward for Brentford, a threat in the air. Pinnock with a long through to the town area, back on header, stumped away by Clark. That was important from Harry Clark, brought down by Mbuemo, wide right. George Hurst back at left back watching him. Mbuemo still has the ball, uses the runner as a decoy. He crosses into the centre, headed away well by Burgess. Again, more fine work in the air from him. Still 90 seconds of this extended first half to go. Brentford with their tails up. Damsgaard comes in field, gets it to Norgard. He holds on to it under pressure from Chaplin. Brentford playing it around in midfield. In steps Burns, well done. Lovely interception from the Welshman. Needs support or might have to go it alone. That's what he's doing. Burns has carried the ball a long way, then goes down lightly. Brentford win it back. The away fans are furious. Brentford with Pinnock. Goes back to Flecken. Some game this live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 4 goals in this first half, and there hadn't been one until the 28th minute. So it's all happened in that last 17. Sun just breaking through here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Final 30 seconds of the first half. Oh, to be a fly on the wall of both dressing rooms at half-time. And Mbuemo in field, well cut out by Smodics. Nice touch, then up to Hurst. Hurst in field to Chaplin, good play. Chaplin through the middle for the run of Burns. But Intercepting on that occasion was Collins of Brentford. To the far side, Wisser on a hat-trick. On the left wing at the moment, coming in field against Clark. Wisser still has the ball. Plays it to this right-hand side, Roslav with the early ball into the town area, headed away by O'Shea, chested down by Smodics. And then up to the halfway line. Collins chests it down for Norgard. That's it for the added-on 6 minutes. Pinnock on the ball for Brentford. Well, 21 goals on this ground this season, more than any other in the Premier League. And I wouldn't rule out seeing more in the second half, the way that this first half has gone, as Muric gets ready to take this goal kick. Surely that will be the final piece of action. A few supporters believing so, disappearing off in and around us. Muric then getting ready with this goal kick. Quite crazy first half, all things considered. Hurst, header in field, dealt with by Pinnock. Not quite sure whether the referee's got this extra time beyond the added-on 6 minutes. Extra 30 seconds perhaps for the goal, but we've gone way beyond that now. Muric with a kick. Maybe just wants to see some more of this, Mr. Smith. Hurst battling with Collins. Collins with a header down, cleared away by Roslav towards the centre spot. Good strong header by O'Shea. Huge header, headed away by Pinnock off the edge of his area. Nodded down by Janelt. Norgard gives it to Damsgaard. Into the path of Collins. No idea where this extra 90 seconds beyond the 6 minutes has come from. Janelt with a clever flick to Mbeumo. He's offside. Surely that's going to be it now for the first half. All 52.5 minutes of it. Very entertaining anyway. Burgess has the ball for the Ipswich Town free kick. Rolls it back to Muric. Muric then goes long. I think he's lost his whistle, the referee, or his watch perhaps. Touched on by Lewis Potter. In steps Clark. Phillips comes away with it for Ipswich Town. Into the 8th minute of added on time at the end of this first period. Of course, it is just a minimum of 6 when the board is shown. And that is it, finally. Wow, what a first half of football, McMills.
Well, it's a great shame, it really is, because right from the word go, for a team that's had to make a lot of changes for this game, there was an air of confidence about us and an air of togetherness as well, you know, and I really did like the way that we opened the game. I didn't like Brentford from the word go at the back. I thought they were in possession, untidy, and not really knowing where they were going to go. I thought they were suspect when they were being attacked. They looked lively whenever the ball came to the front end of their team, but generally speaking, I liked the way we opened the match more than Brentford, and it just, like the team really, you sit here, you feel quite confident about what you're seeing, and then slowly but surely we sort of demonstrated what a poor defence Brentford are, you know, and we really broke them up beautifully right the way through, both goals straight the way through the middle of the heart of their defence, and we go 2-0 in front. We then follow that up by 2 more chances which should have been in the back of the Brentford net. This could so easily have been 4-0 at half time without any question at all, and then all of a sudden we are guilty of making 2 mistakes for the first goal and 1 error for the second goal, and all of a sudden we've gone from a 2-0 position in our favour, which could have gone to 4-0, and then we're going in at 2-2 at half-time. And it must be really I still believe it's more difficult in the Brentford dressing room than ours. I think that Kieran's got to get inside our heads and demonstrate to the players that, listen, you're not playing anything here today, you're better than them, and go back out there, repeat what you did in the first half, have the same amount of belief. He's just got to try and sort of work their minds, really. There's nothing wrong with the team. You know, we're set up nicely, we've got individuals playing well, collectively we're playing well. I think the Brentford manager, Thomas Frank, has got a problem. He's got to try and get into his team almost from front to back. You know, they don't look a team. So I think the problems are still, I know they clawed it back to 2-2, but I think the problems are in the Brentford dressing room and not ours.
Let's hope that's the case. I wouldn't rule out a fifth goal at least in this game. Quite some final 20 minutes of that half. Town led 2-0 through Smodix and Hurst, but then a quick-fire double either side of the 45th minute really from Wisser has left us all rather breathless here in Brentford. It's Brentford 2, Ipswich Town 2.
Wow, what a game live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Brilliant Town goals as well. Catch those on Match of the Day this evening. You haven't seen them already. We'll be back with Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley for the second half. Elsewhere in the top flight this afternoon, Manchester City currently top of the live table. They lead Southampton by an Erling Haaland goal to nil. Aston Villa and Bournemouth are 0-0. John McGinn had a goal ruled out for the home side. And Brighton lead Wolves by a Danny Welbeck goal to nil. He got that on the stroke of half-time. Everton-Fulham is the evening kick-off in the Championship. Few results. 3 games kicked off at lunchtime. Leeds United held to a goalless draw away at Bristol City. Coventry coming from 2-0 down to beat Luton 3-2. Watford edging Blackburn Rovers 1-0. In League One, Cambridge United and Burton Albion goalless at half-time. In League Two, Colchester United are trailing 2-1 at home to Salford City. Around the grounds locally, well, what a scoreline this is at half-time. In the National League North, Needham Market, bottom of the table, are trailing 6-1 away at Buxton this afternoon. In the Southern Premier League Central Division, AFC Sudbury 0, St Ives Town 0, Lowestoft Town 0, Harborough Town 0. We'll be with Gary Button in Lowestoft. We'll also catch up with Stephen Foster watching Ipswich Wanderers versus Mildenhall Town, and Nick Garnham watching Brantham Athletic versus Walsh in the Willows when we return in just a moment.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
Can you hear a little rasp in my throat, still a bit of a cough?
The sexy sound.
Oh, well, OK, if you think that's sexy. You know, someone told me to put Vicks on me feet. A lot of nonsense.
Have you tried it?
No.
Oh, well then. And you might have got over it a bit quicker too.
All right, Mum, telling me off.
Good morning, Wayne.
Now, why does it not surprise me that you were a nightclub fan?
Because I love to dance. Like Tina Charles.
I love to dance.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
By all means, give us your thoughts on that first half. Ipswich Town fans, your team led 2-0 away at Brentford. Lovely goals from Sam Schmodix and George Hurst making his first Premier League start. Brentford hitting back through Johan Visser and Harry Clark own goal on the stroke of half-time. 81333 if you want to drop us a text. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with SFK. Mick Mills taking your calls at full time on 0800 141 2121. Locally, Needham Market 6-1 down at Buxton in the National League North. I mentioned AFC Sudbury goalless with St Ives Town in the Southern Premier League. Likewise, no goals at Lowestoft Town. Gary Button.
Yes, half-time here. Lowestoft Town 0, Harborough Town 0. A cagey game. The Trawler boys with a lot of possession in and around their visitors' penalty area, but that clinical finish so far hasn't come. Harborough making their first ever visit to the Crown Meadow. Have had their moments too. They've got in some big lads in their squad, but nothing that has seriously troubled the 17-year-old Ronnie Yeo making his first team home debut for Lowestoft this afternoon. A chance for Jake Reed on 6 minutes though, but the striker sliced his shot wide while Harvey Sayer shot straight at Elliot Taylor in the Harborough goal on 9. 2 chances for Sam Johnson on 17 minutes. A good one-handed save from Taylor. Parried the ball away with Johnson following up to hit over the bar from around 12 yards. The visitors Josh Walsh and Freddie Robinson saw their efforts blocked by a resolute Trawler boy defence, while Connor Kennedy hooked over from a near-post position after a great run and byline centre from Avavia Sander. Lowestoft have had a number of free kicks in and around the visitors' penalty area, but specialist Sayer has failed to deliver the goods so far. A crowd of 704 here for Jamie Godbell's last match. It's Lowestoft Town 0, Harborough Town 0.
Thanks, Gary. In the FA Trophy first round this afternoon, Felixstowe Walton United are 3-0 up away at Bishop Stortford at half-time. A Cameron Ford Brown goal on 10 minutes, an own goal on 42, and then Josh Mayhew on 45. Stuart Boardley's side looking good for a place in round 2. Isthmian North Division leaders Bury Town are goalless with Waltham Abbey at half-time. I believe it's also goalless Stephen Foster at Humberducy Lane.
It is, yeah. Wanderers 0, Mildenhall 0. A string of fine saves from Wanderers goalkeeper Warren Burwood has kept Mildenhall at bay. He has been by far the busier of the 2 shop stoppers, blocking several close-range attempts on goal in the first half an hour. His best save coming in the first minute, actually, keeping out a great shot from Mildenhall number 10, Jared Robson. Then, a little later, Mildenhall's defender Max Kirkby limped off after a heavy challenge. Ipswich Wanderers eventually began to threaten the Mildenhall goal. Keeper Josh Pope tipped a 25-yarder from the lively Byron Lawrence round the post. Not so pretty a few minutes later was an attempt by Kobe Yeboah, which he ballooned over the trees behind the goal, and the ball may well have rested in the Rushmere Pond, not far away. The easiest chance of the half, this fell to Kai Fletcher, who sent a close-range header over the bar with the goal at his mercy. In time added on, the Mildenhall corner hit the crossbar, and then a wicked deflection nearly caught Burwood out, but the man in lime green was able to get his hands to it. It's been a lively first half, but both sides do need to show far better quality in the final third if either are to break the deadlock. Half-time score again, Ipswich Wanderers 0, Mildenhall Town 0.
Thank you, Foz. So no goals for Foz, no goals for Gary. Has Nick Garnham seen any goals in his non-league match this afternoon? He's watching Brantham Athletic at home to Walsham Le Willows.
Afraid not, Graham. It's Brantham Athletic 0, Walsham Le Willows 0. And it's goalless here, but that's largely down to Brantham goalkeeper Luke Avenel, who's produced a string of fine saves to thwart Walsham. Only the fine tip-over save by Avenel from Sam Nunn's header following Scott Chaplin's left-wing cross prevented the visitors from taking a second-minute lead. Brantham should have gone ahead 2 minutes later, but James Lee rolled his shot wide of the near post after Ben Dixon had crossed from the left. Avenel then saved low down to his right from Cameron Nichols before Ethan Garcia cutting from the left and the keeper parried away his powerful effort. Avenel then made a double save to deny first Nichols and then Chaplin. And then 2 minutes before the break, Matt Glover's right-wing cross was not cleared by the home defence and Avenel saved Kieran Twyn's close-range shot with his legs. Then right on half-time, it was Brantham's turn to go close when Lee's far post header bounced up against the far post to mean it's still goalless at the interval. Half-time at the Brantham Leather Centre, Brantham Athletic 0, Walsham Le Willows 0.
Thank you, Nick. You're with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. Brentford 2, Ipswich Town 2 in our main feature this afternoon. Great first half for Town. 2 great goals, says Jay Imberry. Was really excited, but that was short-lived. Mistakes again, and it's 2-2 suddenly. Still think Town are the better side. Still think the next goal will win the game. We'll bring you first half highlights in a moment. England's women beaten last night 4-3 by Germany at Wembley in an international friendly. England 3-0 down inside the opening half hour before a double from Georgia Stanway before half-time gave them hope. However, another German goal put the visitors in control again before a late consolation from Lucy Bronze. England head coach Serena Wiegman has been speaking to the BBC's Rob Schofield.
Very tight game. I think a game of a very high level where we both challenged each other. In possession, out of possession. We saw the strengths of Germany too. And I think what we have to get out of our game is that we make too many mistakes. And they were really ruthless in that. So take that out. And then still it's a very equal game, I think. It gives a lot of information and, of course, new questions again. But that's what we want. Of course, first of all, you want to win and you want to get you want to get that information that gives us information that when we go forward we can develop and improve our style of play.
And is that how you see it in terms of the defending? Because obviously so much damage was done early. Do you see that as you say, kind of individual errors, or is it more structural than that? Because there did seem to be an issue there on the transition that was playing itself out kind of over and over again, especially in those first 20 minutes.
Well, I think we started the game well. Like in the third minute, that's a wrong pass. That's an individual mistake, and then they're ruthless. That one of their super strengths, Germany, is the counterattack. They're so quick, and so many players move forward. So that's an individual mistake, and you want to take that out of the game, of course. And the second one, that was a big learning. So they have a goal kick. We want to press. We didn't get our press right. They got an overload. And they were smart in that. And then they could play out, and then they're gone. That's also, we want to put that high press. Then we have to get it right. We know we take that risk, and Germany shows us if you don't get it 100% right, then they're out of it. That's the quality, and that's why we play these games, because if you don't play these top-level games, that will not be seen, because it will not harm us, and now it does. So we take that the part. I think the defense start, of course, in possession. When we're doing better in possession, then you get less of these moments. And they had the main counterattacks they got was because we had unforced errors.
Serena Wiegman speaking after England 3, Germany 4 last night. Defeat for the Lionesses. We're back at Brentford next. What a full match commentary we've had for you so far this afternoon.
Phillips up towards Hurst. Hurst with a touch on. Maybe a chance for Smodics. Smodics with a chance and a goal! Lovely goal by Sam Smodics. His second of the Premier League season. It was direct from Ipswich Town, but it was hugely effective. And this team with 6 changes here this afternoon take the lead at Brentford. Brentford 0, Ipswich Town 1, and it's Smodics' second of the season. Chaplin to the right-hand side. Hurst is in on goal. A chance for 2-0. He's got to score, and he has done. A beautiful finish from George Hurst. His first Premier League goal, and what quality! Town scored twice inside 3 minutes. It's Brentford 0, Ipswich Town 2. Oh, Town win the ball. Smodics, what a chance for 3-0. A tap in, surely. Now it won't run the way of Burns. It should be 3-0 and game over. And into the Brentford box, long through. Nodded down, a chance for Leif Davis. Off target, but he should have scored. He should have hit the target from 18 yards. It sat nicely on his left side, that one. Brentford with Lewis Potter, really slick runner of the ball. Great play from Lewis Potter. Chance for Jan Elton to the middle. Whisper! Goal for Brentford. They've got one back before half-time. Really slick move down the left-hand side, ball into the centre, and Wisser converts for his 4th of the season, and all of a sudden it's a different game. It's Brentford 1, Ipswich Town 2. How much will Town rue those chances to go 3 or 4-0 ahead? Down's got through to Wisser. Wisser with a chance to make it 2-2. Has to score! Oh, blocked! Off the line and in. Where did the 2-0 lead go? It's 2-2 at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's not the first time Town have surrendered a 2-0 lead in this part of the world, and it's Wisser with a double for the Bees.
Like we say, really, really nice Ipswich Town goals, but all that hard work undone. What will the second half bring? Let's rejoin Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley.
Play about to get underway. Connor Chaplin, the captain here this afternoon for Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right, about to get the ball rolling. No changes to the 22 players that went off for half-time. Town had to change Ogbeni for Burns in that first period. Looked like a really nasty injury for the former Luton player. We'll ask Kieran McKenna for an early diagnosis post-match when we catch up with him. The referee, Lewis Smith, gets the second half underway. I have no idea what is going to develop in the next 45 minutes, to be honest with you. Any of the 3 possible results totally still in the balance. When there's a break in play, I'll run you through this Ipswich Town team, which pre-match showed 6 changes, largely due to injury and illness. Morsey with a hamstring, Hutchinson sick. Hurst with a header onto Chaplin. Chaplin, the captain, inside the area, left of centre, pulls it back, almost into the path of Smodics. That was good for Town. Here's Chaplin again, Town rebuilding, takes it to the byline. His cross in towards Burns, nodded away. Maybe a chance for Phillips. The ball won't settle for him under pressure from Damsgaard, headed forward by O'Shea. Good start to the second half from the visitors. Clawed away to the halfway line by Norgard. Headed down by Clark, knocked forward by Burgess. Town of Murrich and goal back for Clark, O'Shea, Burgess, Davis. Then it's Phillips and Kajust, a 3 of Burns, Chaplin the captain, and Smodics in support of Hurst. Smodics and then Hurst, the 2 goal scorers. On the bench, Walton, Slicker, Wolfenden, Alhamady, Delap, Townsend, Broadhead and Jack Clark. Brentford, as they waste a long ball downfield, have Flecken in yellow as their keeper. Then it's Roslev, Collins, Pinnock and Vandenberg. Norgard, the captain, Jan Elton, Damsgaard make up the midfield, and Bueno, Wisser and Lewis Potter their front three. I'll give you the subs in a minute. Hurst wide left, getting towards the edge of the Brentford box, now inside the area. Overlapping is Davis. Davis tries a pullback, wins a corner kick. On the bench for Brentford, Valdemarsen, Magoma, Mee, Konak, Trevitt, Yarmaluk, Jensen, Schade and Carvalho.
Well, that was a tremendous overlap by Leif Davis. He ran from the halfway line to sort of probably about 3 or 4 yards from the byline just to make a little overlap, and it was a very, very honest run, and it's won us a corner kick.
Town have started the second half well. Just 2 minutes gone, they've won the first corner kick. Phillips at 2-2, swings it in off to the right, headed away by the giant Pinnock, then knocked forward by Davis. Nothing ball whatsoever. Caught in so many minds by the look of that Leif Davis. Just popped up off his right-footed volley and tamely out behind. Pinnock with this goal kick off the edge of his 6-yard area. Gives it to the keeper Flecken. Norgard turns it to right back and Collins live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Great work rate there from Smodic. Sees the ball out far side for a throw to Brentford. Thomas Frank sitting out of view at the moment. Kieran McKenna on his black zip-up jacket on, grey trousers, hands in pockets, just down in front of us. Watching on. Both managers keen to see how their sides react to that crazy final 20-25 minutes of the first half, really, that saw all 4 goals. If you're just joining us for the first time, Town were 2-0 up, had chances for 3 and 4, but then Brentford hit them with a couple of sucker punches. Brentford on the left-hand side, Lewis Potter trying to get the better of Clark. Clark brings him down. What's that? The referee's got a decision to make. It's a free kick just outside the box. It was a foul. Lewis Potter was trying his best to get in front of Clark and get inside the box, and at worst maybe get a penalty, but it's a free kick to Brentford right by the left corner, so still work to be done from this set piece.
He got carried away there, Harry Clark. He's missed the diagonal ball, and then he's tried to win it back immediately. He wasn't in position to do it. He had to sort of just make sure he recovered first of all before he tried to get to the ball, and it was a definite free kick. I mean, it was close to being in the box.
So Calvin Phillips got a yellow card there. The referee dished one out, and I think Harry Clark was well away from it, ready to defend this set piece. I feel it's maybe for the reaction. Now, possible penalty. They're just checking this on VAR. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if this is given. This is very close at the moment. Town have got away with a free kick, but we're kind of looking at each other along this row of Ipswich Town followers, fearing that this might be turned into a penalty for Brentford. We await. Well, Town so far have had a hat-trick of misfortune with VAR. Let's hope this one goes their way. What are you thinking, Nick? Looking at the replay. Penalty to Brentford. We did fear the worst. They were ready to take the free kick, Brentford, but now from 2-0 down, they've got a chance in the 50th minute to go 3-2 up. What a game this has been.
They both made contact outside the box with each other, and then when both players went into the box, the Brentford player made contact with the ball with his head, and then Harry Clark made contact with the ball with his head as well, and it's just
poor from Clark, wasn't it? It was poor defending all round wherever it happened. He's dropped a clanger there. While live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, yet more drama involving Ipswich Town, looking for their first Premier League win of the season. They led this game 2-0, and now it's Mbuemo with this penalty kick for Brentford in the 51st minute at the G-Tech Community Stadium to turn this game completely on its head and give the Bees a 3-2 lead. Murrich stands big, star-shaped on his line in pink off to our left. Mbuemo with a chance to score the 5th goal of this incredible game. He's done it. A complete turnaround. Brentford from 2-0 down lead a shell-shocked, crestfallen Ipswich Town 3-2.
It was an excellent penalty, but it was a real mess as far as we're concerned. The crossfield ball had beaten Harry Clark, and really from then, rather than make a challenge, he should have just tried to get back on goal side if possible. Just, trust your pace that you can do that. Don't get into a little sort of argy-bargy with the guy that's taking possession of the ball, and that little argy-bargy started outside the box, went on inside the penalty area, and ultimately they've given a penalty. The penalty's a good one, but crazy.
It is indeed. Right, let's see how Town react to that. Kieran McKenna was furious, speaking to the 4th official over that decision. Questioned heavily VAR last week against Everton post-match. We'll hear his thoughts later on in some way, shape or form on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. But Brentford have come back from the dead to lead this game 3-2, 7 minutes into the second half. A real test for Town. Lovely ball from Davis. Burns with a chance for 3-3. Oh, couldn't get his shot away. But there was an opportunity.
Well, if his first touch had taken it on beyond himself, he would have scored there. It just goes slightly to his right-hand side, and he has to check his run a little bit, and that was enough for the defender to sort of get between him and the goals. But that was a chance, no question about it. The ball has found him in a good little position. If his touch had been better, it would have been a equalising goal.
Terrible kick from Flecken. Clark to Burns. We know this Ipswich Town side certainly won't lie down. Here is Burns, gives it back to Phillips. Phillips' first time cross towards the far stick. Leif Davis wasn't quite tall enough, in a good area waiting for that one. Davis keeps it in on the far side of the field. Little ball and field to Smodix. Back it goes to Burgess. Let's see what a test of Ipswich Town's mettle this is, and also how they react if they don't get anything from this game, having been 2-0 up with chances to go further ahead. Kajust can't wriggle away from his man. Well, he could, but he didn't take the ball with him. Collins, the left-hand side, Lewis Potter in nips Burns. Good work from him. He and Clark reunited on this right-hand side. Burns in field. Chaplin slips through to Pinnock. It goes. Brentford looking for a 4th win from 5 games on this ground this season. Town with only 1 win in their last 9 against Brentford. Need a couple of goals to turn that stat around. Brentford with their 3 goals really in 10-12 minutes worth of footballing action really. Either side of half time. Vandenberg off Burns, out behind for a goal kick to Flecken.
Well, we've already created half a chance since that 3rd goal went in, and I do firmly believe, just watching this, I think there's more goals in this game for Town. We've just got to be better at the back, because that's the best part of the Brentford side, is their attacking side, but they aren't very good at the back, believe you me. So stay with us. There's goals, more Town goals in this game.
Yeah, still wouldn't, I said at the start of this second half, any of the 3 ultimate scorelines were possible, and I still feel that. As Kajust, poor from Kajust, terrible, it's beyond Murrich, but Phillips is there. What an awful goal that would have been. That was real comedy capers at the back from Ipswich Town, but thankfully Calvin Phillips was in the right place to sweep it away. Oh dear, is all you really need to say, Mick. That was a shocker of a moment from Town. Throw into Brentford outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Hands of Wolves, Southampton, Crystal Palace must be rejoicing over this scoreline, because in their eyes they're thinking, that's Ipswich gone, they've got their first win of the season. It's not proved to be as straightforward as that. 20 players forward for Brentford, trying to get a 2-goal lead. Pinnock with a long throw into the Ipswich Town box, headed on towards the crossbar by the tall figure frame of Collins, but dealt with by Murrich. And it's all calm once more. Of course, Town still have the likes of Broadhead, Jack Clark, Al Hamady and Delap on the bench. Who's out at the moment? Most of those players, Broadhead, Delap and Clark anyway. Connor Townsend also doing some stretches. Phillips gets the ball, shields away from Dansgaard. Well played by the England midfielder, and he flings it too long for Hurst. And the ball is back with Flecken. Flecken underarm to his right back. Roslav on the far side of the field. Kieran McKenna aging by the minute watching this particular game. Vandenberg to Lewis Potter. So can Town score twice, or will that wait go on to Leicester at home in a week's time? Full match commentary of that on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ball over the top and Buemo's on a chase. Burgess does ever so well to touch it in field on the stretch to Phillips. There is Jens Kajust. Davis plays a 1-2. Kajust driving forward, playing it around the back for Hurst. Lovely play from Kajust. Hurst into the middle, across the face of goal. Might have been better served going for the far corner of the net himself. That was really nice from Kajust to set him away.
Great ball by Kajust, and I think that Hurst in the end should have probably tried to score himself, but I think Wes Burns was guilty of not backing play up enough.
12 minutes gone in the second half. 5 goals this afternoon here. Town trailing 3-2. Kajust gets the ball through to Hurst. Hurst can't smuggle it beyond Collins. Collins dabs it out to Mbuemo, the penalty scorer. Mbuemo then goes back to Roslav, who in turn finds Flecken. Flecking out to Pinnock inside his penalty area, closed down by Chaplin. Ball down the line from Vandenberg, well cut out by Clark, cleared into the centre though by Janelt. In flies Kajust, out goes the ball. Kieran McKenna tries to applaud his players, encouraging them. It's a throw on this near side for Sepp Vandenberg. It's the 4 appearances in his time at Liverpool. The Dutchman goes short to Damsgaard, who gives it back to Vandenberg. He'll chop it forward, headed down by Clark. Burns almost went to ground, managed to get the ball back to Clark. Poor clearance from Clark, in goes Phillips on Damsgaard. Doing some good work for Ipswich Town this afternoon. Calvin Phillips in midfield.
Yeah, he's been better today.
He has, absolutely. He's had to step up alongside his lesser experienced partner, having been used to playing games with Sam Morsey. Vandenberg's throw in, touched away not very far by Chaplin. Norgard plays it into the Ipswich area, high, headed away by O'Shea, and then cleared by Phillips to the willing runner Hurst. Hurst up against Collins. Collins gets the better of him. Good defending from Collins. Collins down the line to Lewis Potter. Good feet again from him. Talented player. Not too many English players in this Brentford squad, but they've got a good one in Lewis Potter. The only Englishman starting for Brentford this afternoon. Here is one of the Danes, Damsgaard, laying it off to Vandenberg. Down the line to Lewis Potter, running at Clark. Still Lewis Potter. He's got his work cut out, Harry Clark. Lewis Potter into the box. Well defended, Clark. That was terrific. Kept his eye on the ball. Intercepted it just the right moment.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, because having given away the penalty, must have feared for that one. Your thoughts welcome afterwards. Call and chat to Graham and Mick. 0800 141 2121. Or you can text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Also start those with SFK. Or email me ahead of the Blue Hour on Monday. Brenner@bbc.co.uk. BRENNER@bbc.co.uk. I'll be back with you on Monday between 6 and 7 for all things Ipswich Town. Your thoughts, emotions, opinions, all very welcome. Pinnock with a long throw into the Town area. Bodies go down. Hasn't been dealt with yet until it drops nicely into the stomach of Murrich. And then we'll start the build-up on Friday evening between 6 and 7 to Ipswich Town against Leicester with the match day preview and lots of other sport as well as football in that hour, with Graham almost given away by Town, but they get it back to Aro Murrich. Flecking yet to be overworked in the second half. Lovely touch from Mbuemo. Mbuemo gives it up to Wissa, the 2 goal scorers. Now it's Damsgaard to the right-hand side. They have men forward. In comes Roslow's cross. Hasn't been dealt with. Chance blocked. Maybe another opportunity for Brentford. No, but that was an opportunity to open up a 2-goal lead for them.
Yeah, that was half chance.
Hurst, he's done very well.
He's done very well,
hasn't
really
he?
Has, yeah.
Hard game for him, his first start of the season. He's had a good game as George Hurst.
He's led the line really well.
Yeah, and a point to prove perhaps with Delap coming in, doing ever so well, but he's a very good forward, George Hurst, who's come on leaps and bounds at Town. Poor pass from O'Shea, given to Brentford in midfield. Damsgaard picks out Mbuemo. He would have done if Leif Davis hadn't gone flying in boots first and conceded a corner kick. Brentford's first of the half. They lead 3-2.
Yeah, he had to get back quickly there, Leif Davis. I think actually it's gone for a goal kick, so you know that's pretty good. We're just getting a sort of it's a bit of a lull at the moment, you know. But I just firmly believe if we can get our game going again, there'll be chances in it.
Town playing it out short from the back. O'Shea hits the back of Janelt, so that didn't work out too well for Town. There is Mbuemo. He sold his man a bit short. Brentford have got it back. Still only in the 17th minute of this second period, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Town led 2-0, Brentford lead 3-2. Out for a throw it would be. Just do wonder how damaging this defeat would be for Town given the circumstances. And then off the back of Leicester next week, it's Tottenham and Man United. And then there is a little run of fixtures for Town against the likes of Palace and Bournemouth and Wolves after that. But they simply will have to get some victories from, really, out of a very busy and awkward Christmas time. Clark, ball skims off his head, out for a throw-in to Brentford down this left-hand side. Kieran McKenna looking a little bit dejected at the moment, as Brentford have another throw-in, looking towards the edge of Ipswich Town's penalty box. That's now 17 goals scored by Brentford here in 5.5 games this season. They beat Wolves 5-3 here. They've actually beaten, if they win this game, all of the teams that are winless so far. Pinnock with a throw into the Ipswich Town area, headed away by O'Shea. Pinnock turns the ball high back into the Ipswich area, beyond the far post, headed away by Davis. A Brentford player went down in the box, nothing given by the referee. And Buemo crosses back into a dangerous area, headed towards goal by Collins, not quite on target. He met it well though, just off target, thankfully, as far as Town were concerned. Hurst has brought down free kick Ipswich in the defensive third.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy at the moment. We just need some of the ball, some possession of the ball, and get our game going again, because we will have a chance. There's no question. This is a weak defence that Brentford have got. We just need to get some good, clean possession again.
So one or two are asking for a penalty for a shove by Muric on Norgard, but nothing doing. Nice control from George Hurst. The referee says play on. Kieran McKenna can't believe it. Collins giving the ball to Lewis Potter. In goes Clark. Clark gives it to Phillips. Player 1-2. Clark now looking for the ball forward to Hurst. Hurst up against Pinnock. Pinnock steps in there and gives it back to his man Flecken, the goalkeeper. He gets it out from under his feet and diagonally goes to the right back, Roerslev.
It's a real threat, George Hurst.
Yeah, he's done very well.
Every time he gets in and around the ball, he's offering a threat. He really is. He's had a good match.
Town players have played well. Well, they've done very well, all things considered. This team that had to be thrown together pretty late on. Of course, we don't know whether Amari Hutchinson was set to play before he woke up ill this morning or not. But anyway, changes forced upon Kieran McKenna in other areas, and of course he was always going to be without Twanzebe and Greaves. Over the top from Janelt towards Lewis Potter. It's a nice ball from the German. Good first touch from Lewis Potter, running at Clark, gets inside the area, dinks it towards the far stick, headed over the top by Norgard, who got himself in between a couple of blue shirts.
Yeah, Harry Clark has got caught with a big diagonal ball again. He's tending to sort of be too far in field to start with, and he's not being fair to himself, and he's getting caught with this raking diagonal ball.
Norgard, the captain, was a goal scorer when Brentford had that historic 2-0 victory over Arsenal in their first league game here, when they first moved to this ground just over 3 years ago. Headed forward over halfway by Collins. Kajust twists in the air. His header drops back down to Phillips. Still did an effective job in there. Town about to make a change. Connor Townsend is coming back towards the bench. It's going to be an interesting one. It's a Premier League debut for him. It could well be. Jack Clark also jogging to just down below us with 66 on the clock. And you still don't rule Ipswich Town out of this game. Delap's jogging back as well. Makes sense, freshen things up. Flecken gives the ball to Pinnock, back with Flecken inside his area. He lifts it over the top of Burns towards Vandenberg. Burns tracks him. Vandenberg wants to take him on. Burns does very well, gets it back to Phillips. Phillips curls the ball back to O'Shea at centre half, closed down by Wisser. Burns touch in field, won by Janelt. Janelt then wins a 50-50. In goes Phillips, strong challenge from him. The ball arrives at the feet of Pinnock with a quarter of this game to go. Poor pass from Pinnock onto the chest of Smodix. Smodix finds Chaplin. Chaplin challenged by Janelt and flies up in the air. Free kick Ipswich. Just trying to see exactly who is coming on for Ipswich Town. Town take the free kick short and quickly. We'll hear from Kieran McKenna before 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Suffolk Matchday, and also hopefully catch up with an Ipswich Town player as well. Smodix via Davis gets the ball to Cameron Burgess. Town need to offer a bit more in attack. They're behind. O'Shea to Chaplin. Chaplin with a good touch to Phillips, holding off men in midfield. He works it out to the right and Wes Burns. Thought about the early cross, but has dwelt on it. Back to Harry Clark. Now it's with Chaplin. There is O'Shea. Clark to Chaplin. Town trying to get an equaliser. Chaplin dinks the ball into the box, headed away by Vandenberg, with Burns loitering behind him. It's cleared out of play by Vitali Janelt. Chaplin sizes up options in the middle, then curls the ball in deep towards the far post. Up goes Flecken. Good hands from him. Yeah, Connor Townsend's definitely coming on for Ipswich Town. Impressed. Not a million miles away from here in the League Cup at AFC Wimbledon. Had a very good game. Probably Town's man of the match that night. Experienced player. Set to come on for Ipswich as Brentford play it around at the back. I feel this is a real let-off, Thomas Frank, if his team wins this one. Collins into the path of Rawslav, through the middle for Wisser. Wisser 1-on-1 for 4-2. Good save by Muric. He's kept Ipswich Town in this game. And really that would surely have ended it, in all honesty. Town aren't coming back from 4-2 this afternoon. A stay of execution. Here come Brentford once again. Credit the goalkeeper Muric. Infield from Norgard. Janelt gets a touch, so too Collins. Probably will see another goal at least in this game, wouldn't surprise me. Here comes Lewis Potter for Brentford to Wisser. Back to Lewis Potter, brought down. What's this? Free kick right on the edge of the area again, given away by Clark. Wonder whether VAR are going to look at this one. This is very close, and it's a red card. Second yellow for Harry Clark, and he is sent off. Ipswich Town's first dismissal of the season. He's actually the last player to be sent off for Town the season before last. And Town trail 3-2 at Brentford and are now down to 10 for the remainder of this match.
Well, this has been a crazy 3 or 4 minutes again. I've been waiting for us to get some what I call clean possession, because if I felt if we could do that, that wasn't a foul either. We could do that, then we've got a chance in this game. And then all of a sudden, from our good possession, they got a breakaway chance, and I thought, what are we doing at the back there? And now, again, you know, this is, I don't see this as a bad challenge. I really don't.
Well, the referees disagreed. I mean, goodness me, Ipswich Town shortage of players for next Saturday. Leicester City must be rubbing their hands together. Unlikely to have Ogbene. They certainly won't have Clark. There's got to be questions over Morsey, Luongo, Taylor, Greaves, Twanzebe. And this one was 100% outside the area, so there's never any query of a VAR given a penalty. Luke Wolfenden about to come on for Ipswich Town. I'd imagine there's a fair old chance he'll play it right back next week, or maybe O'Shea will play it right back like he did against Everton. But anyway, Town led this game 2-0. It's 3-2 and they're down to 10 men. Surely, hopefully I'm tempting fate, and I'm embarrassed by saying this, surely the wait for this first win of the season goes on to next week. Free kick to Brentford. It's Damsgaard, very talented player, trying to rub salt into the wound after Town had just been reduced to 10 men by making the scoreline an irretrievable 4-2 to Brentford. Leif Davis is lying along the deck behind the 4-man wall of Ipswich Town, in theory preventing that low daisy cutter from Damsgaard. But this afternoon has all gone terribly wrong for Kieran McKenna and Ipswich Town. Referee finally doing a bit of sorting out. It's Damsgaard from no more than 19 yards from goal, left of centre, who certainly fancies this one, yet to score in the Premier League for Brentford. Damsgaard tries to find the far corner. It shaves the roof of the top of the bar. Brentford players appeal for a corner kick, but the referee unimpressed. Delap, Wolfenden, Jack Clark coming on for Ipswich Town. Let's see what the change is going to be. Chaplin off and Wolfenden on. Here's the first alteration. Calvin Phillips called across by Kieran McKenna. And the armband, for those that might be interested, has gone to Cameron Burgess. Smodics off to be replaced by Clark. Scored one, should have scored another. Smodics. And then Delap is going to come on. George Hurst looking towards the bench. He's had a really good game, George Hurst. Let's have a little look. It is indeed like for like. Kirstoff, Delap comes on. He's done very well, George, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had an excellent game, really has. You know, he's done, not just scored the goal, but he's led the line brilliantly. He's posed a problem to Brentford right the way through.
Wolfenden's gone to right back. O'Shea stayed in the middle with Burgess, as you would expect. They've been a partnership since 3 o'clock, so that was always going to be there. Wolfenden has played right back in the past, as Pinnock wins a strong header.
Yeah, pretty much. We've just forfeited the number 10 role, basically. That's all. You know, the shape of the team, the rest of the team is exactly the same.
Yeah. As Flacken plays the ball out to the right. Yeah, that was Town didn't have a man sent off at all last season. Harry Clark at Fleetwood was their last sending off ahead of this afternoon, so sadly for him, history's repeated what happened on the final day of that promotion-winning campaign. As Brentford have it over on the far side, there, right, as the ball's on the far side played out for a throw-in. Obviously Town have got all these problems at the back that we're looking at with next week in mind. I suppose people will wonder what the situation is with Janoy Danasi and a free agent floating around, but this is the back four we're looking at there that looks decent enough.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, at the moment we've had to sort of adapt now. We've still got 3 attacking players on the pitch, 4 defensive players on the pitch. The sort of difficulty is going to be for Cajuste and Calvin Phillips. They're a man short in the centre.
Wolfenden, his first work's back in his area, under pressure from Lewis Potter, gave away a corner kick to Brentford. 16 minutes to go. Schade, big striker, talented player apparently. The German is about to come on for Brentford. Was a club record £22 million, and Matthias Jensen, who's normally a regular starter, has been out with injury. He's going to get a little 15-minute cameo as well, the midfielder from the bench. Corner kick to Brentford. Damsgaard is on this one. 3-2 they've led since the 51st minute. The penalty from Mbuemo. Damsgaard with this corner, very deep, headed down by Collins, clipped away by his mate at international level, O'Shea. This is going to hurt, it really is. Collins down the line to Norgard. Norgard then gives it back to Roeslav. Let's just hope that Brentford have a spell and get complacent, because it is still 3-2. Different if they scored that free kick, but even with 10 men, Town can cause them problems. Damsgaard coming forward, reverse pass, chance for the cross to come in from Vandenberg, headed down by Collins inside the area, hooked up by Burgess, not fully away. Out as far as Lewis Potter, he tries his luck, blocked by Phillips. Good game in midfield from him. Lewis Potter wins it back. He's been very impressive. Vandenberg, time to weigh up his options. In comes his cross, headed away again by Burgess. As impressive as ever at the back. There is Roeslav, gives it to Mbuemo. He crosses in again, headed down by Phillips. Janelt into the air, chance for Damsgaard, saved by Muric, and then cleared away by O'Shea. All hands on deck for Ipswich Town, last-ditch stuff. Delap holds the base of his back, seemed to jar it there. Burns runs with the ball to halfway. Delap looks fine now. Burns near side, still 3-2. Town are still in this. Phillips, nice play. Undoubtedly, for me, his best game for Ipswich. Cajuste. He's done very well, all things considered, it has to be said. There is Burgess. First away game in the Premier League. Jack Clark. He is a player that can open things up, but only once he gets his head around that offside line, which he strayed the wrong side of. Off will go Damsgaard, to replaced by Schade. Schade can play through the middle or wide left. And the other change is Norgard coming off to be replaced by his countryman Jensen. 13 minutes still to play. I do think we both feel like that, Mick, watching this. You don't rule Ipswich Town out of this, do you? But 3-2,
no, I don't. No, not at all. As long as we can sort of... There's a big onus on Calvin Phillips and Cajuste, because they're sort of a man short in there. But if they can hold their own in there, we've got a back four, so we can still defend the defensive end. And I quite like our 3 attackers. I think Burns has got plenty of pace out here. We know Liam Delap can surge through the centre of the pitch, and Clark has got a little bit of cleverness about him, so in attack we're not too bad. And I don't like this defensive side of Brentford, so they'll give us one chance before the end of the game, that's for sure.
I believe, and Town have got Jack Clark, Liam Delap, Wes Burns, all out there capable. There is Flecken. But really, Ipswich Town, the way that this bad luck in terms of injuries and their suspension has hit them all at once. I mean, it's bad enough going into this game, but then to lose Ogbeni almost certainly for next Saturday, and Harry Clark won't play against Leicester either now. Murich holds on to the ball, gives it out to Burgess. There is Leif Davis turning away. Although Connor Townsend sat back down on the bench after that red card for Harry Clark. Jack Clark with a back heel on towards Delap. Delap's got the beating of Collins. Delap still has the ball, but Collins fights back. He's a good, strong centre half. Collins out from Flecken. Nice take from Jensen. Still 11.5 minutes to go on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 3-2 Brentford. Your thoughts welcome 0800 141 2121 or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, start them SFK. And I'd love to hear from you on the Blue Hour on Monday. Email me, brenner@bbc.co.uk. I always like to get your 90 and 5s, basically your 5-word phrases to sum up how you feel about following Ipswich Town at the moment, whether it's this game or other bits and bobs happening in and around the club. Your predictions for Leicester, perhaps. Clark, to halfway, tries to play it through the legs of his man. He's got it back, Jack Clark, but eventually runs out of steam, and the referee signals that the Brentford defender got the ball, and then they pass it up to halfway. Let's go back to Graham for other goal news.
Not a lot of goals elsewhere, although Aston Villa have taken the lead against Bournemouth through Ross Barkley. Man City still 1 up at home to Southampton.
Jensen, well, at least Southampton losing. Carvalho about to go on for Brentford, that's all we need. 10 to go. Brentford will, if they get an opportunity, be really keen to get that 4th goal. Here is Mbeumo. Mbeumo, a player who can create or score. Well done by Wolfenden, read the situation well. There is Phillips to Kajust, to Jack Clark, caught by Mbeumo. The referee's given this one as a free kick. As Carvalho comes on for Keane Lewis Potter. Standing ovation for Lewis Potter. He's had a very good game. The 23-year-old scored the winner against Colchester earlier on this season in the League Cup. It's his only goal so far. And Fabio Carvalho, who comes on. Part of the Hull City side last season, alongside the likes of Jacob Greaves and Liam Delap. Murich arrows this diagonal out to this far side. Vandenberg goes up against O'Shea, who'd advanced for Ipswich. Wolfenden wins a header. Vandenberg backpedaling, heads it down towards Jensen. Jensen lifts it away from Burns. Infield to Janelt. Janelt goes back to Flecken. The goalkeeper controls on the edge of his 6-yard area. Then floats it to the left instep of Vandenberg. Here is Carvalho, the former Fulham and Liverpool player. Burns takes it off of him relatively easily. Carvalho wants to win it back. Burns goes down on the halfway line. Free kick. Kieran McKenna again getting worked up. Phillips back to Burgess. 9 to go. Nice collection from Jack Clark in midfield. Runs into trouble. Kajust with a header out towards Davis. Back towards Davis on the far side of the field. Davis round the corner up towards Clark. Obviously the saving grace in the Premier League is that Town haven't got another game on Tuesday night, when the likes of Kajust would probably have to go again so quickly after this rare, almost certain to be 90 minutes or near enough for him. Davis on this free kick for Town. Long way out, but with the right delivery, let's see what Ipswich Town can do. 8 minutes to go. Town staring down the barrel of a 3rd consecutive defeat. It's never happened under Kieran McKenna before. Davis puts this ball into the Brentford area, headed down by Burgess, but to no one. But Town could have made more of that.
Yeah, he's at two minds there. He could have possibly gone direct for an effort on goal, but he's a long way out. He's 16 yards out, so he tries to cushion the ball down for a colleague, but he gets it a little bit wrong. It's gone too sort of much towards the byline and goes out for a harmless goal kick. But just two minds, really.
Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Thoughts of Mick Mills alongside me, watching Brentford 3, Ipswich Town 2. Ball with Pinnock back to Flecken. Probably going to see a lot of that in the closing stages. Brentford passing it around at the back. Hopefully they get caught out. There's some fresh legs pressing for Ipswich Town. Wisser very deep. His first nigh on 90 minutes for a little while. The man who helped turn this one around before half-time. Wisser chips the ball out to the right-hand side, and Mbuemo outside the Town box, wide right, little ball in towards the area, the tuck back, chance for Brentford now, blasted by Carvalho, blocked by Phillips. He's done a lot of that. He's right up there as a contender for Town's man of the match, Calvin Phillips. Van den Berg around the corner to Janelt, still 3-2. Carvalho plays the ball through the gap, but then only as far as Phillips. Down one knee, scribbling some notes as Kieran McKenna. His thoughts to come before 6 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Yeah, John Walk's thoughts on this one and his predictions for Leicester on the matchday preview on Friday between 6 and 7. Brentford on that far touchline there right with Mbuemo. Gives the ball back to Jensen. He floats it into the path of Roslav. Roslav thought about the early ball into the box. Eventually Mbuemo. Jensen to the edge of the area, touched by Janelt to Mbuemo. Mbuemo back to Janelt, back to goal, into the D. It's Wisser. Town plenty bodies back in blue, but it's the red and white stripes who have it. Jensen pushing, looking for an opening. Brentford, in comes the cross, volleyed away by Cameron Burgess, taken down on the right boot of Jensen. And Mbuemo tries for glory from a long way out. It was on target, it was a good hit, but thankfully straight at Aro Muric.
Yeah, I think that Brentford really should think about keeping possession in areas like that, you know, because Town are desperate to gain possession to try and give themselves a chance to get this goal back. But so Brentford taking shots from 30-odd yards out is a little bit crazy.
Broadhead coming on for Ipswich Town for the final 5 minutes or so. Good to see him back and available. Phillips knitting things together, gives it to Burgess. Burgess into the path of Davis. Town still alive in this game. Davis plays a ball into the centre, looking for Delap. 3-3. Another goal for Liam Delap. Alfie goes to celebrate with the away crowd in the far corner. 5 minutes to go and 10 men. Ipswich Town make it Brentford 3, Ipswich Town 3. What a game on BBC Radio Suffolk.
Yeah, get in there. A little bit of possession. Ball goes out to Leif Davis, and he thinks for once, I'm going to just get an early ball in here. Terrific run by Liam Delap to the near post, and a beautiful touch by him as well. And that's Town back in this game. There you go. Wonderful little touch of the ball. That's all it needed. A lovely ball in by Leif Davis. Accuracy, pace, everything you needed. And that's good striker play. We've had two good strikers on the pitch today, we really have. You know, George Hurst led the line for a long time, got himself a goal, and now Liam Delap has come on, and with 10 men, we've got back into the game. Now, sensibility, please, Town.
Well, we did say that we felt Ipswich Town were still in this game. They would get another chance. They hadn't been massively under the cosh. Brentford had that free kick just after Harry Clarke had got sent off to make it 4-2, and that would have been that. But at 3-2, given the spirit in this side, in the face of adversity, they were always going to keep going. Sharda on a chase wide left. Goes out of place, surely. No, cleared away. It has been given as a goal kick to Aro Muric. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in this game, just right on cue as that lovely goal from Delap, and all three have been really quality goals from Ipswich Town. The sun has come out. Connor Townsend on a jog down this near side.
Well, he's done his team the power of good with that equalising goal, but what a season he's having, Liam Delap, goals-wise.
Yeah, 5 for the campaign. The obvious links with bigger clubs have obviously risen in the last few weeks. Tottenham and Arsenal, Newcastle United, all said to be ready to buy him in January. We'll have to wait and see. Town certainly won't be in a hurry to get rid of him, and nor will they need to sell. Townsend is belatedly coming on for Ipswich Town. It's going to be interesting to see how Town negotiate this final 3 minutes of normal time. What a game this has been. 3-3. And a sending off in there as well. Other missed chances up against Wolfen at the far post. Wolfenden's done very well against the man that he's marking, Sharda, the number 7. Muric has made a couple of decent stops at crucial times. Phillips has got in the way of things as well, magnificently well. As it's Muric with this goal kick for Town. All the noise coming from the tractor boys and girls, enjoying themselves.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they might. It's a very entertaining game of football. 2-0 up, then 2-2 at half-time. 3-2 behind. Clark sent off, but we've learnt from experience in recent seasons, never give up on this side. And they're still going. Roslev infield to Mbuemo. Mbuemo crosses into the Ipswich Town area towards Sharda. Sharda wins a good header. Nodded away there well by O'Shea. He and Burgess have done well as a pair, particularly in the air. Burns clears it forward, given back by Pinnock as Delap was chasing after him. And halfway it's Jensen, very open. 90 seconds until we're told how much added on time there is going to be. Don't bet against there being a 7th goal. Janel crosses into the Ipswich Town area again. Burgess imperious in the air. Might need help from Kajust in the D. His first 90 minutes in the Premier League. Brave header from Collins, but it's Jack Clark who comes away with the ball. Lovely twisting. Back to Davis. Davis forward, trying to get Delap one-on-one with Pinnock at this stage of the game. I know who I'd fancy. Roslev, high ball into the Ipswich area towards Wisser. Wisser goes up, but so too does O'Shea. It's over the bar from Wisser, goal kick.
Yeah, I still can see Liam Delap going clear. I really can. If we can get sort of a possession of the ball, in our own half, and you just send him, a decent ball over the top, and with his pace, we could even get a 4th.
Well, if we Town get an equaliser from this, that's a big goal and a big moment just to kind of stop the rot. Here comes the change for Ipswich Town. It's Jens Kajust, who's going off to be replaced by Connor Townsend. Gets a hug and maybe a kiss from Calvin Phillips, but he's run his socks off. He's coming off very gingerly as well. Boy, is he relieved there's no Tuesday night game on the horizon. Puffing his cheeks out. He's done ever so well, all things considered. And Townsend is going to come on for him. Wes Burns has gone on with a little word for Calvin Phillips to see exactly how these 9 outfield players are going to limber up. 7 minutes of added on time to go. Wow, even more than the first half when we had the lengthy injury break for Ogbeni. Don't know if my heart can take this. This could be an interesting 7 minutes. It really could, bearing in mind what's happened in the previous 90 that we've witnessed here this afternoon. Anything is still very much possible. Belted forward by Muric. Delap battling, gets it on, but Collins is in behind Pinnock. Now he goes after Roslev, who hoists it forward, won by O'Shea. Into the centre the ball comes, where Pinnock launches his forehead at it. Ipswich Town, if they get this 3-3, will almost celebrate like a win. It's still a big if. Lots of football to be played. We're not even a minute into the added on 7. Jensen for Brentford, long ball into the Town area. Muric should catch unchallenged, and he does.
I think we've gone 5 at the back with 3 in the centre of midfield and just Liam Delap up the top end of the pitch, and that's a good idea. Wes Burns is willing. He says, I'll go to right wing back, I'll do a defensive job on this side, and you've got Leif Davis on the other side. 3 good strong centre halves between those two, and then 3 in the centre of midfield where we were a little bit light, and the idea is probably to suck Brentford on and then just hit that one ball over the top for Liam Delap to go through and score.
Yeah, a midfield of Connor Townsend, Calvin Phillips and Jack Clark at the moment for Ipswich Town. Delap chasing around, Brentford bypass him. Jensen, who's got on the ball a lot for them so far since coming on as a sub. 2 minutes of the added on 7 played. Roslev turns the ball to the far post. Ducking underneath it and heading out behind was Burns.
The goalkeeper could have spoken.
I was just thinking there's a break in communication there, but Burns did the right thing. He got it out, but Murray could have told him to leave it.
He's got to head it out for a corner, but the goalkeeper should have
left
telling him to leave it.
Corner kick to Brentford in this crazy game, which is currently 3-3 in the 3rd minute of added on time. Jensen it is who takes it high towards the far stick, headed down by Pinnock. Oh, and then sliced over the bar by Collins. His head's in his hands. What a chance to win it for Brentford that was. Only 8 yards out, a lesser connection, and it flies into the net and it's all over.
Yeah, it's a really good chance, and beautifully won on the back post, headed down, creates the opportunity, and it's volleyed up and over the bar, which relief to everybody.
Kieran McKenna just mopping his brow down in front of us. 3 minutes played, 4 still to go of the added on time. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come on match day before 6. Game we'll remember for a fair old while, particularly if Ipswich Town go on and win it. Delap battling with that Pinnock. Both big, strong boys. Delap's done very well, but can't quite keep his feet. He's tried to play it off Pinnock for a corner kick. He's unlucky not to get that in the end.
He was unlucky.
Flecken with a goal kick for Brentford at the midway point of the added-on 7 minutes. Still being urged on by their fans. Remember, Town down to 10 men. Clark was sent off. Brentford led 3-2. Town have levelled things up, and Buemo knocks the ball into the Ipswich area, but no one's there again. They keep doing that, and the big men aren't getting up quickly enough towards that far post area, and Town are just seeing them out behind.
I think Liam Delap's holding his groin there.
No, he is as well, isn't he? You might have to bring your boots to Portman Road next Saturday, Mick.
Yeah.
Town are really struggling. Yeah, he was rather. That team selection 1:45 next Saturday. That's going to be very interesting. Murrich with a goal kick for Ipswich Town. 3 minutes still to play. Pinnock wins the header at the back. Then Phillips in midfield nods it out near side for a throw. At the moment, it's a 5th draw of the season. 5 points on the board for Ipswich Town. This one will feel particularly sweet. Away from home, behind a man light. Roslev, still work to be done though. 5 minutes gone and added on time at the end of this match. Jensen curls the ball into the Ipswich area. Murrich is up and controls it, and then drops down on it. It's good. That would do nicely. We waste a bit of extra time there. Kieran McKenna trying to rally the players out in front of him. This kind of 5-3-1 that Ipswich are playing at the moment. Totally sensible. Murrich with another big throw from the edge of his penalty area. He's done that twice in recent times. Phillips header forward, brought down by Collins. Phillips has really come to the party this afternoon. There is Roslev, gives it to Mbuemo. Town coming back, and Mbuemo still has the ball, and Mbuemo knocks it into the centre and the corner of the net. And Brentford have won this incredible game 4-3. What an afternoon of football. Astonishing. Town thought they'd come back from the dead with 10 men on the field to grab a 3-3 draw, but it's Mbuemo with his 8th of the season breaks Ipswich Town's hearts. And right at the end of this, we're already 6 minutes into added on time. It's going to be a 3rd consecutive defeat for Ipswich Town for the first time under Kieran McKenna. It's Brentford who leads 4-3, and this one's hard to take.
Well, I think he scored with a cross. I think this is a cross that's gone straight in the back of the net. This is no way a shot. No way a shot whatsoever. It's just crept in the back post, you know, it's flat. I don't know how, I really don't know how the goalkeepers let this go past them.
No, there has to be questions over him. You're spot on. It was a cross, wasn't it? Watch it again.
No shot at all.
It's not, is it? Oh, the goalkeeper. Wow. When it happened, I thought, oh, Murrich question mark, seen it again. No. That's poor from the goalkeeper. Wow. And what a moment to drop that clanger. Kieran McKenna's looking at it on a screen like we are. Brentford 4, Ipswich Town 3. We played 97 minutes. On the far side, Leif Davis gets the ball in. Can Delap make something of it? Looked like he got a point for Ipswich Town. Delap, he might still. Delap turns, shoots. Oh, he's hit the post! What an effort that was from Delap. What a goal that would have been. Goodness gracious me. 10 millimetres away from a stunning 4-4 draw. But it was the wrong side of the woodwork. What a hit. Goodness gracious me, none of us expected this afternoon. When we saw the teams, some of us might have expected 7 goals, but not necessarily 4-3. That would have just been one of those most incredible moments. Still play goes on. Brentford with a throw-in, back header from Wolfenden, nodded forward by O'Shea. What a game. Vandenberg, long. Muric is out of his area. He's come a long distance. Down goes Pinnock. Nothing doing by the referee. Wissa wins it. Muric is still outside of his box. Poor clearance from Muric. Sharda with a chance to make it 5-3 inside the box. Still there, Sharda. It's touched out behind for a corner kick. I don't know how much more my heart can take of this.
What a game of mistakes this is.
Full time. 3 successive defeats for Ipswich Town for the first time under Kieran McKenna, but the manner of this one was quite astonishing. They led 2-0, should have been 3-0, should have been 4-0. Brentford came back 2-2 at half-time, 3-2 Brentford. Town a man down, made it 3-3. Delap with his 5th goal of the season, and then a final turn, a final twist in added on time, almost 6 minutes beyond the 90th minute. A 7th goal of the afternoon, and sadly it came after a mistake from Aro Muric, a goal from Bueno, and Brentford win this unbelievable game of football by 4-3, and that wait for a first Premier League win of the season oh so painfully goes on for Ipswich Town.
How can you explain this one? This is so difficult, it really is. Before the game we've got problems because of the changes that we've had to make. You sort of tend to fear for the worst because of that, but then within 5 minutes of the game opening you think, I'm not so sure, I think there's an air of confidence about these boys that have been given the job to sort of play the game today, and they had a confidence, and there was a weakness with regards to Brentford at the back. Their attack was pretty good, but as a team we looked better than them, and you just waited, and as the half went by, we slowly but surely sort of got on top. We got ourselves 2-0 in front, and then we made some real sort of errors, really. We had an opportunity to go in without question at 3-0, possibly 4-0, and we end up going in at 2-2. That was wrong to start with, and then you get into the second half, and then it just carried on. It went through the second half of sort of crazy things. We give a penalty away, they score from a penalty, we have a player sent off, Harry Clark. Enormous problems were going to be all about our defeat and Brentford's victory, but then all of a sudden we get an equalising goal, a terrific goal, great cross from Leif Davis, and Liam Delap gets a great finish. 3-3, you think, well, we've really dug deep and got something from this game. They then go and score a 4th, which for me is a cross that's crept into the back post past the goalkeeper, who definitely has made a mistake. 4-3, and then they're still not finished. Liam Delap crashes one against the post, which could have easily have gone off the post and in the back of the net. A crazy game, it really was. One, when you really sort of think about it, it was an opportunity for us to get the first win on the board this season without question, but we haven't taken that opportunity, and we will look back at this one and think, well, we should have done this, we should have done that, but again we've been on the receiving end of a defeat, and this is going to hurt the boys, it really is.
Yeah, how difficult is it going to be mentally to get over this one?
Very difficult. It'll be difficult for the manager. I mean, he's got to dig deep. Really has. He must be wondering. He'd be able to enact enact the part whilst he's on duty, in front of the media, in front of his players, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, when he shuts that door at home, he will be wondering, what on earth, life is all about. How you can have a game like this and come out at the end of the game with nothing at all. He'll be wondering.
Town players have been across to fans over in the far corner of the ground who've seen quite remarkable game of football, real entertainment, 7 goals and a sending off, other opportunities, but sadly Ipswich Town have come out on the wrong end of this scoreline. It's a 4th win in 5 here for Brentford, unbeaten on this ground this season, and Ipswich Town 9 games into the season still without a victory, and worryingly on this run of 3 successive defeats. Now the pressure builds on next week against Leicester, as the absentee list would appear to be getting even longer. Highly unlikely to see Chio Ogbeni after that nasty first half injury. No Harry Clark, he'll be banned for next week. So overall, a pretty dismal, disappointing afternoon in West London for Ipswich Town, who've lost by 4 goals to 3.